We know, again, those are two very good RECCA maps that they've had a lot of success on in the last few months. So for me, I'd probably like to see like a Nuke or an Inferno, or maybe even something like a Cache come out here for TNC, because I think those are the maps that RECCA is a little bit weaker on, and that might be the opening for TNC. I don't feel like any of the maps really are going to favor TNC in a sense, but I do feel like those, if any, are going to be the best possible chance for them to pick up a victory here. Now, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, Danny, as you say at least, but unfortunately my glass is half empty right now, because I'm really not thinking that TNC is going to be able to pull off much here. I mean, it was 16-3 against Golden Mix. We know that RECCA's very, very strong, and they're going to bully a low-tier opponent here like TNC as well, which with that firepower, and I just don't think the firepower is going to be enough here for TNC. So for me, like, this is almost looking like it could end up being 16-0.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like that. RECCA, of course, a level above. They've taken out a couple of APAC tournaments here and there. It is the last chance for the boys from the Pinoy players here. It's their last hopes, their last chances. Can you give them anything? I'm just scraping the barrel here. Is there any kind of world where they come away with a win or an opportunity? Because, I mean, Golden Mix was their best chance. They're up against RECCA now. They have to get this, or else they're going home, which is probably just down the road.
I'm not going to lie, probably about the same chances as me going on towards the stage and playing as a professional player. It's a completely different world that we're going to be looking at. As much as you want to hype them up, there is a reason why RECCA are going to be outright favourites, and TNC, after that performance, I mean, Jordan was being so optimistic going, okay, you've got these amount of maps that they can play that they're comfortable playing with, but RECCA are 3 bans. So it's like RECCA, the maps that they can't play, we know which maps they can't play, we could probably go into detail. They're just going to ban immediately. They have 3 bans. Even if it's going down towards the 2 default, they're just defaults, they have better mechanics, they're better players. It's just a complete mismatch across the board.
Yeah, so I mean, for obviously, like, I guess the real takeaway here for TNC, or at least the chance maybe for them coming into this one, I mean, we've talked about the maps, obviously, but the other thing is that, obviously, RECCA hasn't been having the greatest of performances lately. I mean, they have really been struggling this last week. They've been struggling in the late stages of Zen, where they did end up going down, obviously, to 5-power, despite having a map advantage and playing on Cobblestone, a map which they beat them the day before on. They didn't pick up that series. So I think, yeah, obviously, RECCA at the moment, they might be in a bit of a dip in terms of form, and that's a possibility here for TNC. If they can start off well, get that pistol, maybe get the first gun round, really try to bully RECCA early on in the piece, I think that's what's going to be key for them. They need to start off well. They need to get a good first half, and hopefully they're going to have enough there to close things out. But I feel like if RECCA starts to get warmed up here, and if we do see that RECCA that we know that they can hit, that peak level RECCA, then I really don't have much hope here for TNC, but there's a slim chance, Danny.
Yeah, that was some very kind words. That's not even glass half full. That's like glass to the brim. You can't lift. You have to do that weird thing where you like drink some off the table. That's what was going on there. I mean, let's just move
Someone's
past
got to
this.
say it.
This is not something that we'll put too much impetus on, but we'll get this out of the way. We kind of know what we're all thinking. Score lines.
Do you want to go first, since you're the optimistic guy?
Sure.
I've just been the realistic guy for now. So.
Well, my optimistic kind of side says maybe we see a few rounds coming out here from TNC. Let's say maybe 6 to 8, something like that. Obviously hard to say without knowing what the map is going to be first, but I guess if they start off well, you know, get a little bit of luck, maybe have a couple of decent rounds, someone starts stepping up, which we didn't really see from them at all on Cobblestone, but they've had a whole map to warm up, so now's the time really for TNC, just pull everything out. Maybe 16-6, 16-8 kind of sort of scenario. That's my optimistic side of things, looking at it. From a realistic perspective, I'm thinking not much more than a 16-5. I mean, if Golden Mix can 16-3 them on Cobble, I dare say that RECCA can do something similar on almost every map.
Yeah, I'd argue about the same, unless it opens up in a very open map. It's going to be a pretty one-sided shutout on the side of RECCA. I mean, as much as I want to see TNC show some Pinoy pride, 16-3 defeat on Cobblestone. A very, very lackluster defense on the CT side, which never is going to indicate a good thing, given that the rest of the maps, we can argue that the CT-sided, Cobblestone maybe a little bit more T-sided. As of late, teams are now starting to pick Cobblestone CT-sided, and there was nothing. There really was nothing in the tank.
Yeah, it feels bad at this stage if you're a fan of the local guys, TNC. You know, I do have to agree with the desk, Elfish. You feel like you have something. There is a chance. There is hope for TNC. I can see it in your eyes.
It's a very, very slim chance. I mean, look, I think you're playing it up a little bit too much here, Danny, unfortunately.
We have to give the home team some...
I'd love to be able to hype them up, and I'd love to be able to say that I think they are going to be able to take away the victory here. But I feel like I'd be lying if I said that, and so I don't lie to the viewers, Danny, and I have to say that I do think RECCA really are far and away going to be the better team. I mean, like Kevin said, really the only flaws here for RECCA is those couple of maps, which Nuke and Inferno, really, which have been a little bit shaky, and maybe to a lesser extent, Cache and maybe Overpass has been a little bit shaky sometimes as well. But, like, they can just veto them out. I mean, they've got 2 or 3 vetoes they can get rid of. I mean, there's a good chance we see them on Cobblestone, Train, maybe Mirage, something like that. And I suppose, again, Keish is 50-50, but realistically speaking, RECCA, the firepower, just individually, man for man, is going to be probably more than enough to overwhelm them on any map.
Yeah, absolutely. Any kind of words of encouragement? I mean, let's pretend like TNT are watching. They can hear us. What do you say? You can't just write them off completely. You got to give them something.
Moha was sick. Like, I'm not going to lie. Moha was probably like their standout player. Every single round where I'd like to see him make impact a little bit earlier on for the rest of the boys from TNC supporting him, because every single pistol round, I swear, he's got a CZ in hand and he's killing 2 people in drop. No easy feat, given that you're getting completely smashed. And he's getting 2-3 kills every now and then with a pistol. The rest of them just need to step up behind him. There was some decent play behind it. You get one really good hero play, you start firing up behind that, and who knows, you try to ride that wave as long as possible. Try to lure RECCA into a sense of overconfidence, try to grasp as many rounds as possible with some smart Counter-Strike, or as, you know, my boy Mitch back in Australia would say, occasionally you do have to make the dumb plays. You need to do something really outlandish that will catch them off guard. I know it sounds really silly, but sometimes you need to do something which is out of the realm of, this is normal Counter-Strike. You need to throw something at RECCA where they're not expecting it.
Definitely, but for me, this is like, really, you can only do that 1 or 2 times before it's going to be starting to get read there by RECCA. And honestly, I mean, we're talking a lot about TNC right now, but for me, I think the main storyline for this match is really going to be about RECCA and seeing how their form is going to be coming into this tournament, how they're feeling right now, hoping to see them have really a very good performance right now, actually, against TNC. Just completely smash them away. I want to see Xcurate stepping up very well with that AWP. I want to see Sis and Rozu having some big rounds. And if that kind of core 3 roster of the RECCA guys is really stepping up and having a good performance here, I think that bodes very well for them coming into the later stages of this tournament, which we're expecting that they're going to get to. I mean, definitely coming in from Group A, 100% should be RECCA, but then through there, we should expect them to go potentially even into the next stage, which is going to be starting on Saturday. I mean, there's Firepower to go up against, there's Athletico to go up against, SC Absolute as well. I think these are the 4 teams that we're looking at, but definitely RECCA has the potential as a roster, if they're hitting their peak, to be able to beat any of those teams.
Yeah, some wonderful insight there. And we have had a lot of speculation, but right now, let's see what map. We'll head into the videos and see what we'll be heading to in our second best of 1 of the day here. We have it coming up. So RECCA was well caught there. Nuke just straight out of the mix. Pretty standard stuff there.
Definitely, that's exactly the first ban that they should be getting rid of. It's a map that they haven't really been playing at all in the last few months, and when they have played it, they haven't had very good success on it. So I'm thinking that obviously that's not a map that they want to play on. And fair enough, get rid of it straight away. I think that's a good choice.
Yep. So TNC taking out Train. Overpass taken up by RECCA. And Cobblestone, you know, not a surprise there, really. I mean, they want to get rid of it. Not the best showing. And Inferno gone by RECCA, which is a little bit interesting, right? The Inferno RECCA ban?
It's not too crazy. Like, it's not their best map. It's not their worst map. It's kind of one that they'll leave in there if they have to, but they've got that ban. They might as well use it. So Keish is the final choice, I suppose, is not too bad of a scenario, really, for TNC. We've kind of seen them go okay on that map, but also you have to consider RECCA has played a lot of Keish lately. Admittedly, some of the results that they've been having on it have been very shaky, but that's been against teams that have been a lot better than them on that map. And I don't think that TNC is a lot better than them on that map or any map. So for me, I think even though we're going to get Keish, which honestly is probably best case scenario even almost for TNC, I'm still thinking RECCA should be able to close this out. Yeah,
I mean, we are on Keish. We have actually Matt Andrews, who is our English host, who's getting very frustrated at the way we say Keish. So I think we should all you know, become a community agree and just call it Cash.
No. Keish.
Catchy?
Keish for life, mate.
Keish. All right, we're sticking to our Australian
pride.
It's going to be Keish. Speaking of Keish, you do say it's the best opportunity for TNT to come out. We saw their executes on Cobblestone, a little bit lackluster. You know, Keish, that A bomb site, it kind of opens himself up for an opportunity. You can just kind of get out there, utilize your utility after the fact. They might have a bit of opportunity. Karath, any more of a chance now that we are on Keish for TNC?
Probably not.
We're just telling it how it is.
Savage.
Probably not.
It is probably very savage. Crowd's probably going to hunt me down after this. But realistically, once again, they don't have as much opportunity. It was between Keish and Mirage. I can kind of understand why RECCA was angling towards those 2 maps, banning out Inferno. Inferno is a map where, say, for example, if TNC did have a few things, got their economy up ahead, it'd be so difficult for RECCA to come back. Especially, it's just for Nana, right? For the B-site and Inferno, it's a gamble. But on Mirage, on Keish, it's quite open. You can take your time, execute. It's maps where you'd play if you're confident that the enemy team is probably lesser than you in ability. It's open enough where you have enough time to kind of work and go, all right, let's see what TNC have. Let's bounce it around. Like, you know, they'll throw their ideas at us. Let's see what we've got. We know what we need to do. If we start T-side, even better. I really want to see TNC start T-side at the very least. they didn't have that many rounds on the tier side to play with, obviously on Cobblestone. CT side looked pretty bad. Maybe they don't play Cobblestone a lot. I want to see what they have on Executes. How well do they look? Do they look like a team? Are they going to play for pride? Those are the things I want to ask. I want to see, you know what, TNC, if they're coming out of the event losing, at the very least, they went out on their own terms. They played Counter-Strike. They executed according to what they wanted and succeeded. Maybe not a victory, but what they wanted would have been playing some proper Counter-Strike.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, TNC have put themselves in the best possible position here. Like, it's quite obvious that they've come into this one, in a sense, well-researched, because they've gotten rid of Train, they've gotten rid of Cobblestone. These are two of RECCA's best maps, and obviously maps that we would have definitely favoured RECCA on. And so RECCA, for their own right, have gotten rid of their own poor maps. So it's kind of, again, going to show that sort of disparity between these two teams, where RECCA's vetoing away their poor maps, TNC's vetoing away their opponent's better maps. There's kind of a bit of a disparity there. So I think this has worked out, as I said, in the best possible scenario still for TNC. But if it's going to be enough, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, again, it's going to have to be how they start on that first half, whether they get off onto the T side or the CT side, and where they can go from there. Admittedly, for RECCA on this map, like they have a lot of experience. So for me, it's still very much RECCA favoured.
Yeah, well, I mean, TNC, they do sound like a band. They shouldn't go chasing waterfalls, but I think they should. They should just go for it. You guys look at me with blank stares. Nope, nothing.
I don't know, Danny. I mean, you just randomly say these things, and it's sometimes hard to understand where you're going. But I think I get it. I mean, I think what you're trying to say is that they really should just go out and give this their all. And if they can do that, I mean, again, there's a chance. Well, like what we said against Golden Mix for TNC, there is always a chance. It is Counter-Strike. You know, we've seen big upsets before, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that is the likely result. And for me, the likely result obviously is going to be RECCA coming away here with nothing less than even like a 16-5 victory. Depends on the form of RECCA, though. I mean, that's my major concern right now. This is what this match is about for me, is to see how RECCA's going to come into this tournament and see how they'll perform.
Yeah, so how much weight do you put on this map? I mean, obviously, RECCA very confident. You can see a lot of smiling faces and grins there. How much importance do you think RECCA are putting onto this map, if any?
Well, for RECCA, I suppose it is quite a significant map, really, because it is their first map of the tournament. You know, you always want to start on the right foot, and if you get off to a poor start, particularly against a team like TNC, who's just been crushed there by Golden Mix, that's going to be a really bad start to your tournament. So, in a sense, while we would say this is more or less a formality almost for RECCA, it is still a very, very important match for them to get off to a good start in.
Good.
Yeah, so for me, I'd say RECCA will probably want to bring about 50% in. Just individually, just warm up, have some fun. And I mean that in terms of RECCA. I've been looking forward towards versing opponents like Firepower, right? It's teams more equal towards their level. They don't want to be using the executes right now. No, like, if TNC force them to use the executes, then TNC have already won. Because that means that TNC are playing really well. RECCA at the stage, you expected them to just play default, very kind of loose style where they're just going in fast towards a bomb site, maybe one smoke, one flashbangs. Not really a structured execute. Not that we see too many from RECCA in terms of what we've seen over the online season and whatnot. But they don't want to be showing anything deep in their strat book for now. Enough to get them over the, over the post. I don't think they'll be challenged very deeply. But as soon as they actually start bringing out specialized strats, that's where TNC have won, and that's where RECCA have lost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for RECCA, the goal here is to just wipe the floor with them just with their firepower. They don't want to show anything off, and so that's what I said before about seeing people like Xcurate, seeing people like Sis, and seeing people like ROG stepping up here. These are the three guys that we've seen throughout the Zen League, which is obviously what RECCA's been playing in the last couple of months, really stepping up. And honestly, I think Xcurate has actually been a little bit quieter than we probably would have expected from him. So hopefully this is going to be sort of a new chapter here for RECCA, where they come into this tournament, they absolutely smash away with the lower teams, have some good matches against the higher teams, and really start to build that, I suppose, dynasty post-Bentet, where we get to see the other players really stepping up. And they've kind of got the groundwork for that, but we're yet to actually see the full RECCA experience, I suppose, where they come out here and just completely smash everyone, like what we kind of used to see. Yeah,
well, there you have it. That is a unified opinion across the desk here that RECCA are going to be wrecking house. Hopefully TNC, their last roll of the dice to stay in this tournament. But to take you through all the action, here's Nomad and Pill.
All right, so thank you, DK, and the rest of the panel. And once again, we are back for the second game. It's going to be TNC from the Philippines and, of course, RECCA Esports from Indonesia.
And I don't know, TNC didn't perform well during their match against Golden Mix, so I think this time around, I hope they got the loss out of the way and just focus on this game.
Yes, they can, but the thing is the last map, of course, it's Cash. It's the map of TNC.
Yeah, it is their map, so they probably have strategies in mind there. So
and that's the third best map of RECCA Esports with a rate of 55.6% win rate.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tall order for TNC to actually go up against RECCA Esports here.
And I think this is the second round, of course, but X-Crit, is this game already? Is it? This is it. All right, so as you can see, Packing trying to kill, but Rose, together with Frost Misty, and knowing that Frost Misty is, of course, one of the oldest member of RECCA Esports, and the newest member of RECCA Esports is, of course, Next Wins, rather.
And of course, TNC Pro Team, again, they are relatively new. So going up against RECCA Esports, which are technically the best, one of the best teams in Southeast Asia.
Yes.
And TNC Pro Team is fairly new as a team. So
one of the Indonesia's powerhouse. First is, of course, Akara is first. Akara, this is Indonesia's second, which is RECCA Esports. And as you can see, Next Wins, Packing there with the head with that Zico, but let's see what will happen more. But wow, Sis, wow, just killing Borkum again. 3 versus 3 situation right there. As you can see, Sis and Rosal just getting tagged right there, but Pro is now down 3-0, and again, this is the moment, and the action will start right now, the 4th round of the game.
Technical pause. I think there's something's going on here for a bit, but regardless, TNC needs to step up. They need to start bringing out their strategies here. Considering the fact that this is one of their best maps, I mean, they should have a couple up their sleeves, but again, RECCA Esports, this is a tall order for TNC, to be honest, to be quite honest.
And yes, of course, with besides right there, Zen, last Zen League Season 2, they won against 5 Power and, of course, Mirage and Cobblestone. They lost against MVP PK and Nuke and Cobble. And, of course, they lost again in 5 Power at Cash and Cobblestone. And maybe that's the stepping stone of RECCA Esports for them to win this game, or like they had their practice.
And we are finally starting out the match here, and TNC Pro Team is going to be on the T side here.
All right, so I think that this is the official game.
Yeah, all right, officially we are starting here, and TNC Pro Team is leaning towards for an A take here, and RECCA Esports, they are actually pretty aggressive here, pushing out Warehouse.
Yes, that's right. Knowing that, of course, this is the best map of TNC Pro Team. They need to do something about this. They need to reclaim their victory against Golden Mix a while ago. But as you can see, Rosa killed one next one with a follow-up kill. But let's see what will happen. 2 versus 5 situation. But Frost busy with a kill. But Rosa just competing the round with 2 kills together with Next Wins. And that round is now going to what?
RECCA Esports.
RECCA Esports.
Yeah, and I don't know, RECCA Esports will be able to secure a couple more rounds here, just considering the fact that TNC will be having a hard time catching up to the lead of RECCA Esports. I mean, it's 1-0. Okay, fine, you can catch up and get another game, but as soon as you secure the pistol round, you'll be able to get enough rifles and enough utilities to possibly secure the next 3-4 rounds.
Yes, that's it. It's all about the pistol round, of course, and knowing that X-Crit is the youngest player in the RECCA Esports. He's only 19 years old. It's, of course, one of the strongest here in RECCA Esports, and of course, he's playing AWP as well. But let's see, a minute 25 seconds left in the clock. Moja just assumed there's someone right there, but let's see. Moja sees one. Frost missing there with the kill. Packing goes there. Frost Misty with a double kick killing Mac DG for the triple there. But Frost Misty just dominating everything. 5 versus 1 situation, but where is Borkum trying to find his enemies? But let's see, but X-Crit finishing the round 2-0 in favor of RECCA Esports.
Yeah, and TNC Pro Team, TNC's trying to feel their way towards RECCA's strategies here. They still trying to figure out how they're going to find any loopholes in RECCA Esports defense here, because TNC, they're playing around A, they're playing around B, but they're still trying to figure out where is RECCA Esports actually going to lean towards against. He's going to
Yes,
try to
the-
find the loopholes there.
Yes, the thing is, it's already 2-0, and TNC Pro Team needs to do something out of nothing. But TNC Pro, the El Capitan, going there with a triple kill, killing the next one. You're outside of Frost Mist. He tried to go with the Quadra. X-Crit and Sizz VI is the only man left for RECCA Esports. Let's see what will happen. 4 versus 2 situation, but where is the bomb? Let's see. But from the top, Sizz V kills 1, kills 2, trying to go with the triple. The nice smoke coming from TNC Pro Team, just of course blocking out the vision of RECCA Esports, but Paki is right there as well.
Sizz V is just trying to look for a kill there, but MacDG takes him out. 2-1, TNC finally on the board.
All right, so finally, TNC Pro Team got that first point of this game, and hopefully we're gonna witness a close match, not a one-sided match, of course.
Hopefully not a one-sided match. We want some good Counter-Strike global offensive action here. But
Yes, of course, knowing that this is the best of 1 series.
this is the
man.
best of 1 series, so they really have to go all out here. And of course, both of these teams, they really want to stomp out the other team. So
Yes, that's true, but next wins, no, nice position coming out of next win, just very cheeky position coming out.
very cheeky indeed.
Yes. So Moja again, just being himself, one of the most aggressive players here in the Philippines.
Most aggressive PH, yeah.
Yes.
Well, regardless, TNC Pro Team, they still have a lot of time to decide where to take the bomb, but for the meantime, it's starting to lean towards A. RECCA Esports, they don't have much of a read here, so they're pretty spread thin here.
And the thing is, of course, Frost Misty being that entry fragger, like what we witnessed a while ago, that easy triple kill coming out of him. And of course, entry fragger is one of the most vital roles here in CSGO, but as you can see, less than a minute left in the clock. That's the Molotov coming out of TNC Pro Team. Let's see what will happen, but Borkum trying to, of course, being a turtle, just trying to walk towards A, but let's see, 45 seconds left in the clock. Rolls out, nice positioning coming out of him as well, but let's see.
A boost coming here for TNC Pro Team trying to catch anyone off guard. Off of
Ooh,
RECCA. And
X-Crit.
X-Crit taking down Moja there, down to a 4v4 situation. 30 seconds left on the clock. TNC Pro Team needs to decide where to go, and I think right now it's going to be the A.
So MacDG kills 1, but he also has nice position coming out of him, coming out with a double kill, but no, TNC Pro, the Chris Pro, the El Capitan says no, 2 rolls out, 15 seconds left in the clock, and Pro just, of course, planting the bomb, 2 versus 3 situation, X-Ray and Frost Missy, where are you?
Well, they're making their way towards the side right now.
course.
And they're going to try to go for a retake here. X-Crit leaning towards A main. Going to try to spot some heads there, try to catch TNC off guard, but MacDG is guarding A main closely.
Yes, exactly.
But X-Crit is pretty quiet here.
The thing is, the clock is ticking. Frost Misty and X-Ray needs to do something. Pro kills 1, X-Ray kills 1 as well. Trying to go with a double. Yes, a double kill with X-Ray, but Packing says no. 2-2, and the game is now tied up.
We got ourselves a game.
Yes, of
Pretty
course.
sure.
And of course, being that confident, because this is their best map, they need to prove everything. And of course, I asked Baby Boy a while ago, I mean yesterday, he said this is their best map. They need to prove it to us.
Yeah, it's pretty bold to say it is your best map if you haven't had any chances to
Yes,
play it
exactly.
on land. But if he says it's their best map, that's their best map.
Knowing that, of course, they're just 2 weeks old, maybe. They're really comfortable in playing cash.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now. They're playing pretty aggressive here, doing a couple of flashy plays here like that. Packing, taking that X-Crit and Frost Misty, quickly dwindling it down to a 4v3 situation. They are going to go for a retake here. But of course, RECCA Esports going to try to see if they can go for the retake, and Pro takes down next wins, and Sizz V and Rizzo are just going to hang back, try to get some exits. Like that, taking down, oh, Borkum actually takes down Sizz V, so it's just Rizzo on his own with a MAC-10.
Maybe Rosa might clutch this or not, and I don't think so. But at least he's trying.
He's just trying to get an AK at this point.
I need that gun. I need to save that gun. But of course, Moja, as you can see, just the perfect positioning coming out of Moja right now.
And they now know where he is. He
Yes.
gets taken out. TNC Pro Team in the lead, 3-2.
3-2 finally, the Filipinos are doing it right now. And of course, we're not going to witness a one-sided match, hopefully. Yes.
Yeah, we got ourselves a match here finally.
All right, so Frost Misty, as you can see, being that entry fragger, just killing multiple people right there. But as you can see, Packing just dominating also. It's all about, of course, just MacD just waiting for the right moment for him to buy that AWP. But for this gameplay, I mean game style rather, it's not that possible or like it's not that necessary for you to buy an AWP.
And looking at this, RECCA Esports is actually playing a bit passive-aggressive, so to speak. They're trying to make a read on where TNC Pro Team is right now, and no, TNC's just going to dwindle down the time because 3 guys from RECCA Esports, and RECCA Esports was kind of dwindling. They always play for the clock, so
Yes.
if it's 40 seconds, that's where they start going in.
And as you can see, RECCA Esports, their positioning is just very disciplined. They're not moving at all, but Borkum just dominating and just killing Rosa right now. 50 seconds left in the clock. Extra just getting tagged as well. 4 versus 4 situation. But ooh, Sis VI killing Packing, but Magdi Drifter with a follow-up kill. 40 seconds left. But next one needs to do something. 2 versus 2 situation. And now the bomb has been planted already.
Now down to a 2v2 situation. Borkum and MacDG, they need to defend this side as much as they can. Next win, taking out Borkum, and he takes out MacDG as well. And a technical pause is going to get called there.
All right, so it's going to be 3-3 now, and the game is not tied up again. For me, TNC Pro Team needs to be very cautious. They're like so aggressive at that round, I guess. They're not being the team that they are right now. But yeah, it's all about, of course, the technical issues.
Well, I guess they're really letting it all out at this point because they don't want to lose out 2 times in a row.
Yeah, that's going to be so bad for you.
Yeah, of course, and considering the fact they pretty much got stomped during the first game against Golden Mix, 16-3, that's going to be in the back of their minds. Yeah. They're going to be pretty nervous here going in, but judging how the matches are going, 3-3, they're pretty evenly matched, so that's something that can boost your confidence.
That is something that might stop them from winning, actually. It's like, that can hinder yourself on like doing everything that you've practiced and all the strategies that you're going to execute. That 15, like, that is 16-3, right?
16-3, yeah.
But 7th round of the game right now. Let's see what will happen. TNC Pro Team just waiting for the right moment again. For them, of course, to plant that bomb, staying passive. RECCA Esports is waiting for the right moment again. Just playing passive also, but as you can see, Sis VI just killing Pro. The El Capitan of TNC Pro Team is now dead.
And right now, TNC Pro Team, they need to decide where to push, and it's anywhere they go, actually, they will get taken out by RECCA Esports because right now, Next Wins is slowly pushing his way over to A main, and Sis V and Xcrit, they are trying to stop the push here by TNC Pro Team. And right now, it's not happening. It's down to a 4v2 situation. Sis V takes out MacDG down to a 3v2, but TNC Pro Team is pretty low on HP.
Sis V just maximizing everything, all the pop flashes, everything. 2 versus 1 situation, and now Sis V just killing 3 people. 4-3 in favor of RECCA Esports. TNC Pro Team again needs to find their composure, their momentum, their everything, maybe change their strategies and stuff. It's all up to RECCA Esports right now on how can they dominate each round for them to win. And of course, that is the thing also. TNC Pro Team got, of course, dominated, obliterated the last game, and that is the advantage of RECCA Esports. This is their first match of this game, and of course TNC Pro Team second match, but they got stumped, and RECCA Esports need to capitalize and maximize that loss that TNC Pro Team received a while ago.
Yeah, TNC Pro Team, 1:25 seconds left on the clock, and they're already down to 3 people. I think the game plan here for TNC is just to get guns or try to get rid of the guns there, but it's not going to happen.
Sis V again, just ruining every strategies that TNC Pro Team is doing. Just all the positioning, all the aims, it's all up to Sis V.
And TNC Pro Team are going to buy up AKs, a couple of flashes and smokes. We'll see if they will be able to put the utilities into good use. You buy them, might as well use them properly. You
Yes,
know?
that's the thing. It's all about the utilities as well. But use the flashes, pop flashes, the smokes, the HE, the Molotovs, everything for your good. But as you can see, Moja kills Frost Mist, trying to go. Borkum kills one, trying to go with a double, but SysV just stopping Borkum with a possible double kill with a headshot as well. A minute 30 seconds left in the clock. 3 versus 4.
And TNC is still undecided on which side to go. The bomb is all the way over to B. It's making its way over to A at this point. And RECCA Esports are actually playing pretty aggressive this time around. Started pushing out. Didn't work how they intended to because, you know, they only got Borkum out of the game, essentially. That cheeky boost, though, by SysV might catch TNC off guard.
The thing is, of course, Moj has their utilities still with him. He needs to maximize that. He needs to use that. But for 55 minutes, it's a long time to use it.
50 seconds, either side.
Yeah.
And Xcure is actually thinking about packing. They're evening out everything, 3v3. Bomb's already at B, and MacDG is actually way out.
The thing with Xcure, very nice position coming out of him. He might catch TNC Pro Team off guard right here, but MacDG, he sees one, but Pro Team just stopping the possible clutch of Xcure deep right here. But 2 versus 3 situation. Next one is SysV. Where are you guys? But the thing is, Next wins. Just trying to be patient right there.
Wow.
He kills 2, but he kills 3. The Next wins. Very cheeky, very sneaky, just waiting for the right moment. And, dude.
He's just sneaky beaky like.
Sneaky beaky like indeed.
6-3, RECCA Esports comfortably in the lead. TNC Pro Team can still fight back here. Let's look at this.
Look at that play. Just wait.
Hey, I'm planting the bomb. Not anymore. Next wins just hiding there.
The thing of that play, of course, number one, you need to know the information first. Just not to be going aggressive, just killing people right there. Just know the information first, the whereabouts of your opponents. All right, so let's see, 1 minute 30 seconds left in the clock. SysV, of course, and Next wins, the newest player of RECCA Esports, just trying to dominate this game. 6-3, dude.
Right now, TNC Pro Team, they're going to try to go for an 8 take here, but it's not going to happen. They will get taken out. Roseau with a 4K.
4K there by Rose Al. Nice defense coming out of him. Just, of course, the money, everything. The utilities, the firepower, the kits. It's all about the RECCA Esports right now. 7-3. And TNC Pro Team needs to do something. They need to find their composure. It's like RECCA Esports is maximizing really just the things that happened a while ago. TNC Pro Team.
Well, regardless,
dead.
MacDG has the AWP, so we might see some pretty flashy plays here.
Hopefully.
And taking out Roseau there. 5v4, 1 minute 27 seconds left on the clock. Still a lot of time for TNC to work around here.
MacDG again, he needs to, of course, maximize that AWP. He's the best. He's one of the best here in the Philippines. He needs to prove that again. 1 minute 15 seconds left in the clock. Of course, still getting passive. Nice rotations coming out of RECCA Esports together with TNC Pro Team as well. Just, of course, fan out of your enemies. But knowing that Packing got 16 HP left, that's a big problem for TNC Pro Team. But at least they got 5 people left more.
Yeah, but it's practically a 4v4 situation right now. MacDG taking out Xcure there. And I think the bomb is now going to go towards B, and this is going to be the easy take unless Frost Misty capitalizes on this, but no, that's not going to happen. Moja is going to take down Frost Misty. It's just down to SysV in a 1v4. If he's going to clutch this, he has to.
Of course, he has to, but the thing is, he has the money. He has everything. He can do a thing that, of course, he's going to just push out or, like, save, but yeah, he got the money, so it's fine.
And TNC Pro Team, they're slowly catching up to RECCA's lead here. And look at SysV, 11-5 on the other side. TNC Pro Team, 8-9 for Pro.
Of course, I would like to point out Next wins again. Just every round, just catching someone off guard with a triple kill, with a double kill, with a solo kill.
And they have the idea that someone's going to push through that smoke. And spray down Frost Misty to 21 HP. 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. Bomb leading towards B, but the rotation here is We're still trying to, TNC Pro Team is still trying to figure out which way, where to go there. Moja taking out Frost Misty. That's going to be big to get into the side, and especially considering the fact that no one is at B side aside from next wins.
You know, as you can see, X-Ray, the position of X-Ray is just really on point, just waiting for the right moment for him to pull that trigger, because as you can see, just staying right there at that position for like more than 30 seconds already, but Rosal kills one. 4 versus 4, less than a minute left in the clock. Packing trying to be aggressive, but Rosal is right there, but Packing dominating. Rosal, 48 seconds, 3 versus 4. Moja is now down again. Next wins. Let's see what will happen in the next few seconds.
3v3 situation, 40 seconds left on the clock. Packing pretty low. Next wins almost there. TNC Pro Team, they are going to decide to go to A, but Xcurate is in a bit of an off angle here, and he has an idea now that TNC Pro Team is going to come in from A main, and this is going to be an A take. And Xcurate straight down Boricum. He's going to take down back DG. That is a bomb drop, and it's just Packing on his own with an AK-47 and 7 HP. It's going to be a dream. Taking out Xcurate, but he gets taken out by Sis V.
Actually, for me, next wing, I mean, Xcurate, just really being sneaky beaky like player. It was like getting on corners, just trying to be on that same spot for a long time possible, for the longest time possible. It was like, and now as you can see, Xcurate there with an AWP. That's the usual role of Xcurate right now.
Yeah, I think it's time for the AWP to come out for Xcurate. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, but MacDJ needs to contest Xcurate. That's the thing. You need to contest your, of course, opponent's AWP as well. But hold that thought. Next wins might do something crazy right here. Rosal kills one. Packing is now down, but Moja and MacDJ needs, like, of course, you still have the smokes. You need to use that as well. Xcurate kills one. Pro is now down, but Xcurate sees the bomb. Ooh, killing MacDJ again. Trying to go with a third one. Moja is now down. 3 kills coming up. Xcurate trying to go with a quadra. Let's see. But where is Boricum? That's the question.
Well, Boricum's over there in mid. He's going to get taken out by Sis V. And right now, TNC Pro Team, they have 2 more rounds to at least try to catch up, to have a good footing going into the second half and force a tactical pause getting called there.
Well, for me, I think TNC Pro Team's problem is now just adjusting to every country's meta, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, in the Philippines, it's a pretty defensive play style coming in from all the teams that play.
Yeah.
And it's just recently that teams are starting to change things up, especially considering the fact that they have the opportunity to compete against other countries. They can scrim against other countries.
The thing, of course, you need to study your opponent, their way of playing, the strategies, the pattern of their maps as well. That is really important in CSGO.
And we're going back into the game right now. 14th round, RECCA Esports still in the lead with 9. TNC Pro Team slowly catching up, but they only have P250s and a couple of blocks. And I think it's going to be all-out P-stack here.
Let's see if TNC Pro Team can pull something out of nothing. But Frost Misty right there kills 1, kills 2. But trying to go with a triple. But MacDJ says no, but goes out there from the top with the double kill as well. TNC Pro Team is the only man left at this team, but next win says no. That's pretty easy, of course, and fast round for RECCA Esports, and again for TNC Pro Team to regain that lost money. And let's see if they can come back in this game with a 4 AKs and
5 AKs actually.
5 AKs rather. I believe that MacDJ should buy that AWP, should save up something to buy that AWP. He needs to contest Xcurate so bad.
Of course, considering the fact that this is the last round, TNC Pro Team, they need to go all out here.
Yeah.
Just try to pull out one of the out-of-the-box strategies here. But wait, Sis V is actually onto boost here, but he gets taken out by MacDJ, so that's not worth it.
It's like MacDJ says, no, not in my place.
This is our map. Please respect us. But regardless, 5v4, a minute 22 seconds left on the clock. TNC Pro Team still doesn't have a clear heading on where to go, but the bomb seems to be pushing towards A. RECCA Esports, they're spread out pretty evenly, so they should be able to get as much information as they can.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is, Xcurate can really hear their opponents but a minute left in the clock right now. Xcred sees that flash, and they, of course, can hear the footsteps as well. Nice move coming out of him, just trying to block his position, but Packing says no. 2 versus 3 now.
And it's just Frost meeting Roseau. They need to go for the retake here. The bomb is planted at default. And Roseau spotting the head of MacDG there, but he's trying to look for the other people as well so that they can have an easy retake. Of course, Frost Misty coming in from the truck. And Packing actually sprays down, taking out Roseau. Frost Misty taking out Packing. Now down to a 1v2 situation. Spots MacDG on quads, but he will get taken out. And it's 10-5 for the first half.
Yeah, 10-5 is a pretty nice score to, of course, to beat, but it's all up to TNC Pro Team right now. How can they regain their spirit?
Well, I think 10-5, that's a comfortable first half, even if you get sobbed in the first half. As soon as you get 10-5, you should be able to catch up pretty easily in the second half.
Yeah, you can easily get that within 8-10, I guess. Of course, if you want that pistol round, it's all about the pistol round. Now, TNC Pro Team needs to win this pistol round.
They do. This is the pistol round of
round of death.
Pistol round of death.
Yes.
It's all or nothing for the pistol round, because if RECCA secures the pistol round, they got at least 3-4 rounds in, almost a match point. That's not something TNC wants. They want to catch up at this point.
Yes, indeed. And the game is now on again. The second half of RECCA Esports from Indonesia and TNC Pro Team from the Philippines, let's say.
It looks like TNC Pro Team, they are spread out pretty thin, playing default here. Next wins, on the other hand, are leaning towards A, and I think they were able to force our rotation here from TNC. But Pro taking out Roseau with that pistol, getting a double kill here, but Frost Missy takes him out. Now down to a 4v3 situation. Frost Missy takes out Pro, takes out Mojo with a double kill. Still a lot of time to play with here for RECCA Esports, but they will plant the bomb at A. Next one's taking out Packing. And it's just Borkum and MacDG for the retake. It's a 2v2.
It's going to be now 2v2. It's Frosty Missy versus V and Borkum versus MacDG. They need to do something. MacDG has a flash and has to get as well. But SizV, but where are you, my friend? MacDG can assist V. 1 versus 2 situation. It's all up to Frost Missy right now. MacDG is now down. 1 versus 1. Borkum, where are you? The bomb is not planted, but Borkum there from the side. And finally, dude, TNC Pro Team needs to win this, and this happens.
And this is where the momentum starts coming in from TNC Pro Team. Unless RECCA Esports decides to go for an anti-eco strategy, that may catch TNC off guard. Because RECCA Esports technically can afford to go for an anti-eco here because they're in the lead. They have 4 rounds ahead of them. They could pretty much just try and catch TNC Pro Team off guard.
Well, for me, TNC Pro Team is that it's that confident enough for them to win this round, but it's all up to RECCA Esports positioning. But Frost Missy is getting flashed, but let's see if TNC Pro Team will be aggressive, but I think they're not.
Yeah, RECCA Esports, they're playing kind of massive. Xcred has his eyes on Z.
Ooh,
spots the head on Packing. That was a nice shot.
What a dirty deagle coming out of Xcred, just wrecking the head of Packing. Look at that. That pixel of that head.
It's a pixel-perfect deagle shot, yeah.
Yes.
And it's now 5v4, a minute 15 seconds. RECCA Esports are now going to go ahead and jump into B. And it's just Borkum on his own. He is not going to be able to defend this. Next win will be able to take him out. 5v3, dude. That eco, but Mojo's now is killing Rosa there with the wallbang as well. But 4 versus 2, MacDG and Pro needs to do something. Let's see what we have. 55 seconds left in the clock, and the amount of the bomb has been planted. TNC Pro. Let's see. The El Capitan needs to call out very, very important strategies right here. And I think the retake is now about to start. They don't have utilities to work with here. And
let's
Pro
see.
taking out Frost Misty. It's now down to a 1v3 situation, but he gets taken out by next wins 11-6.
Dude, why did you turn back? I don't know, man. Because that's the thing in CSGO. Don't look back.
Unless there's a flash in front of you.
Of course, of course.
But
that is really heartbreaking for me. It's like, that is the moment when TNC Pro Team needs to win this. It's like that vital pistol round plus that 1 round advantage of that. I don't know.
But regardless, RECCA Esports, they have an AK, they have the M4s, they have a lot of weapons here, thanks to TNC Pro Team, sponsored by TNC Pro Team. But regardless, down to a 3v3 situation, with pistols, TNC Pro Team are not going to be able to secure this round.
Let's see if Packing can utilize that AK. Of course, Caesar coming out of Borkum right here, and now the bomb's been planted by Extra. Let's see. A minute and 15 seconds left in the clock, but no, it's fine.
But it's just going to be a save.
Already, 45 seconds, yes.
It's just going to be a save by TNC Pro Team. They need that AK. They have one flash and helmets.
All right, so the thing is, Packing needs to be very cautious, but SysV again, just breaking the hearts of TNC Pro Team right now. 6-12.
And a technical timeout has been called.
For RECCA, I mean, like, of course, they're one of the best teams in Indonesia. We know that. And, of course, one of the oldest team in Indonesia as well. Because maybe they're just having that advantage because the composure, the synergy, the synchronization as the team is right there. And knowing that TNC Pro Team is that new. So maybe they're just trying to adjust their new team.
I mean, honeymoon period, it's pretty brutal for any team that just starts out and gets into any big LAN event.
Yeah. So this is their debut tournament as a team. Debut LAN, as a team, yes.
Their debut performance.
Yes.
And they need to perform very well here.
Yes, we all know that. Knowing that, let's see, next wins. I think he did so Borkum right there.
But regardless, TNC Pro Team still opting to just save up. Let's go a couple of P250s there. But Packing taking out next win. That's going to be big. He'll be able to get a weapon here if he can. But SysV taking out MacDG down to a 3v3 situation.
He's got a crossfire right there. 3v3 situation. Pro, let's see what will happen. Just trying to make something out of that pistol round. Pistol rather. But I mean, 70 seconds left in the clock. And now the bomb has been planted by RECCA Esports. Let's see. X-Crit and Frost Miss, the only man left. 3 versus 2. Pro together with Borkum and Packing needs to be very cautious. Yes, Borkum has the gun. But no, X-Crit says no. Frost Missy as well. Pro is the only man left, but X-Crit just destroying TNC Pro Team now, 13-6. I mean that you have that gun. Okay, it is 3 versus 2. I mean, you have that one-man advantage. I mean, like, you still have everything. You have the kits, you have the flashes, you have the smokes. I mean, just use that first, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, you have the utilities. I mean, the only viable way to use the utilities is if you can use it to catch everyone off guard. If you're going in for the retake, use the flashes, use the smokes to distract your opponents. Same thing goes for if you're on the T side. You need to use the smokes to deter any visions from TNC Pro Team.
Oh, as you can see, Picking just got flambéed alive here at Checkers, but that's the thing for TNC Pro Team. Maybe they just got that hyped up. Is it assumed that, no, I can kill him. But, of course.
Overconfidence is good and bad at the same time.
Overhyped and overconfidence is bad in CSGO. But as you can see, next wins, kills one. Roz out there with a follow with Frost Misty again, just destroying MacDG. 1 versus 5. Pro is the only man left for TNC Pro Team. But can he still clutch this? And I think he's going to save that gun.
Yeah, it's smarter to save it. Don't risk it. That's 5 guys looking for you.
Yeah. Unless you're a god, I guess. Or like the spirit of Pasha goes in you.
Unless you're like Gerai or Dozia or whoever.
I love Freiburg, man. He's my childhood hero. Yeah. It's my bias in NIP and in different teams, yes.
Okay. But regardless, Pro taking out next win. He has the M4, and I think TNC Pro Team could buy up. There you go.
Yeah.
They're just going to force it out. But they don't have enough for utilities here, so they have to make every single flash and smoke count.
Yes, that's true. But RECCA Esports, the momentum is right there. They can destroy TNC Pro Team that easy. And it's all up to TNC right now. And how can they stop the possible push of RECCA Esports? SysV throwing out there, of course, pre-fires just to might as well damage someone. But let's see, X-Crit trying to kill one, but no, next wins. Killing Moja 3 versus 5 situation. Rather, MacDG getting tagged as well. Next wins. Just planting the bomb. And the thing is, where is Packing? Is like so far away.
Yeah, Packing's all the way over to B side, and right now TNC needs to save the FAMAS and the M4.
Ooh, Borkum! Together with the package, just getting expert assist via 3-versus-2 situation. They might do this, but the clock is ticking. They don't have that kit. Borkum has the kit, but of course, the time is not enough for him to defuse the bomb. And 15-6, my bro.
And he is going to get sandwich here, my bro.
That's the thing. Is that a thing now, my bro?
Yes, my bro. Whoa, but Borkum actually takes down Rosal. They know where Borkum is, and they are now on the hunt.
Oh, let's see.
Borkum taking out next wins.
But
Will Frost needs to be able to take him out. Borkum's actually pretty low, but he has no idea.
Ooh.
Almost.
Actually,
But
that
RECCA Esports.
2 kills is nice for my Brokum. I need to do that. I guess.
Going back into the game, RECCA Esports already at match point, 15-6. They have a lot of utilities.
Yes,
they have bought TNC.
They have literally everything for RECCA Esports right now, and TNC Pro Team needs to do something for them to stop RECCA Esports. But let's see.
Look at this. Xcrit actually going in for an aggressive mid push here. They're going mid to A at this point. 4v4 situation, but no one's at mid from TNC Pro Team. They don't know that this is coming, but Pro actually takes down SysV down to a 4v3 situation.
3-versus-4. Let's see if Xcrit next and rolls out. Just do the dream of RECCA Esports, just winning this game. TNC Pro kills 1, but the thing is, of course, this is the best team. This is the best map of TNC Pro Team, but it didn't work for them at all. And I guess they need to fix something in the loopholes maybe, but Xcrit is the only man left. Let's see if he can clutch this or not. But Borkum stopping the possible win of RECCA Esports. TNC Pro Team 7-15. Maybe they can push this on, of course, on an overtime, but that is the question.
It's possible. They just need to play to their strengths at this point. Don't overpush. Just stay passive. Wait for any clear indication that RECCA Esports is pushing at this side, and they're still on the board pretty much. They just need to beat the economy of RECCA.
The thing is, don't get too overconfident and don't get overhyped on something that you can't.
Yes, that is indeed true, my bro. Yeah. Regardless, MacDG bringing Rozo down to pretty low, probably around 12 HP. And there's still a lot of time for RECCA Esports to decide where to go.
All right, for TNC Pro Team right now. Ooh, packing kills SysV. But let's see if he can kill a bit extra there with accuracy, killing the head of packing. But the clock is ticking and MacDG kills 1. Rosa is now done. Xcrit might kill MacDG, but MacDG says no with the double kill. But Frost Misty killing MacDG with a follow-up 2-versus-3 situation. But where is Frost Misty? Let's see.
A minute, 2 seconds left on the clock. The bomb is over advanced with Frost Misty taking out Borkum. I think that's a clear indication that they are going to go for B. But Next Win spots out Moja. Moja going to try to see if he can take down Next Wins. And Moja takes him down. So now down to a 2v1 situation. Frost Misty is just going to try to circle around, try to find anyone.
2-versus-1 situation. It's all up to Frost Misty if he can frost his opponents to death. The clock is ticking. 35 seconds left. Frost Misty says 1, and Moja just, of course, living up the dream of TNC Pro Team to push this game to an overtime.
15-8. Seems doable. They actually finally almost broke RECCA Esports economy here.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing. MacDG has the money again to buy that AWP.
I don't know. MacDG with the AWP hasn't been performing.
That reliable, yes?
Yeah, so I think right now it's a bit of a risk to go for the AWP.
Yes. Maybe he's just comfortable in using an AWP to victory, but
we'll see if it happens.
But the thing is, Borkum kills 1. Xcrit is now down, and that's the thing. You need to kill first of course, Xcrit or Frost Misty, because they're really the threats of TNC Pro Team.
Yeah, and TNC Pro Team are playing pretty passively, but SysV sneaks up behind Borkum, and he takes him out. It's now down to a 4v3 situation. Next one's taking out MacDG. It is not looking good for TNC Pro Team. They need to start rotating right now, and SysV taking down Pro, and it is just Moja on his own taking out SysV. Down to a 1v3 situation. Rozo is pretty low, and the bomb has been planted. Moja needs to play for the clock here. He needs to go for the clutch.
That's the thing for MacDG. His AWP isn't performing really well, but let's see. But Frost Misty again, finishing the round. 1-0 in favor of RECCA Esports. They did everything that they can.
Yeah, and TNC Pro Team, they caught up.
Yeah.
They caught up, but it wasn't just enough. They're finally starting to slowly go online, but it was a bit too late at that point.
Of course, they tried so hard, but it didn't push through.
They tried so hard, but they got so far.
Yes. Props to TNC Pro Team. It's their best map, but there's some kind of little problems in their execution on strategies and stuff. But of course, RECCA, knowing that they're one of the best teams in Indonesia, Indonesia's powerhouse, we can call them that. And it's all about, of course, the experience as a team, the composure, the synchronization, the synergy. It's all come down to this. RECCA winning this game 16-8.
Yeah, TNC Pro Team not showing a good performance, but it's not bad for their first LAN run as a team. Probably in the next couple of LAN events in the future, they might be able to come back stronger.
Yes, all right, so you've just witnessed the game of RECCA Esports versus TNC Pro Team, and once again, without further ado, I'm going to give back to DK and the rest of the panel.
Thank you so much, Vil. 16-8, 8 maps off RECCA. What do we make of this?
Well, I
Where's
mean,
the glass?
I said between 16-6 and 16-8. We got 16-8. I thought, you know, maybe it could have been a little bit easier for RECCA than it was. They came into that, obviously, without having any kind of a warm-up. That was their first match of the day. TNC already had a match, and they were a bit warmed up. So the early start for RECCA was not amazing. You know, they were playing, I thought, a little bit poorly, dropping a lot of early players in a lot of the rounds. And TNC, they were able to close out a couple of those rounds, but a lot of the rounds where they had a player advantage, they did end up actually losing. So I thought the RECCA wasn't quite punished as much as they perhaps should have been, but they also probably shouldn't have been put in those situations in the first place, given the caliber of a team that they are. So I think once RECCA kind of got the ball rolling, once they got their form going, once they got their momentum built up, and once they were warmed up, we kind of saw a bit more of a domination as what we kind of expected.
Yeah, Kevin?
For me, TNC, the rounds that they were able to blow open, well, firstly, RECCA had to either give an advantage by them pushing forward, and then RECCA had to kind of screw up and allow TNC for one of their players to step up. I'm Pro on the B side, got 3 kills. This is, I think for TNC, there were 2 major issues I saw overall in their gameplay. A is that, as their entry fraggers, they don't really have a clear way of kind of clearing out the site, which is a big problem. With your first and second entry, you need protocols to make sure that every single line is checked. The person sitting there at that site on B site, winning the round for RECCA should never have happened. That was like the first problem. That was something that was prevalent throughout the entire T half for TNC, where if you don't have the protocols to kind of clear out the site, it's always going to make your T side harder. And the second thing I wanted to know, I want to actually praise TNC on their CT side this time around. The only issue with their CT side was over-aggression. There was one part, I think it was either Mac DG or Pro, who's playing Highway, and instead of dry peeking out from Highway in towards mid, there was a flashbang that came forward. So the flashbang, the teamwork was there. But the problem was, after you got the kill, you got the advantage. You see a lot of teams, when they get this advantage, they fall back. You already have 5-on-4. There's no point challenging any further. If you want to challenge further, use another flashbang, use another grenade. He just dry peeked out again. And you can't do that against RECCA because they want those opportunities to come back into the game. And that's, I feel like, a little bit of a lack of experience playing against better teams meant that TNC were punished. That's literally the difference, probably playing from like lower tiers to higher tier, is that these teams do have they have really good teamwork, really good plays, but they don't understand when to back off. Like how many times, like Jordan mentioned it, how many times were TNC in the lead? They had 5-on-3, 5-on-4, and they lost it because they didn't stop pushing further. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it was probably like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 rounds.
Exactly.
On the first half where, RECCA was at a 2-player or even 3-player deficit and ended up winning that round. So I think that was a big problem for TNC, and they probably should have capitalized on a few more of those rounds.
Yeah. But positive signs. Like, overall, I'm much happier seeing TNC on that map. I wanted to see what they had on the T side. Yeah, sure, RECCA probably just going too loosey, just pushing in and trying to get way too much action going their way. But afterwards, TNC settled down. They did a few executes. They played well together.
Yep, absolutely.
They have no shame in terms of what they did on Cage because that was pretty solid from them.
Yeah, so credit where credit is due, but we did say they needed to, I mean, they are going home now. Admittedly, they're in their home country, so it's a short trip, but, they're done and dusted in this group of 3. It's now between RECCA and Golden Mix to try to figure out who will take that top seed going into the best of 3 series. we said they needed to bring everything TNC, like bring everything kitchen sink, go home with their head held high. Elfish, can they do that now based on the last game, or is it still a bit lackluster?
No, look, to be honest, I think that was actually a pretty reasonable performance from them. I didn't expect them to get many more than 8 rounds, sorry. So I think to get to 8 rounds was pretty impressive. Admittedly, they did get that second half pistol and then drop the subsequent anti-eco, which was, I guess, a little disappointing. We might have been able to see a 16-10 kind of a scoreline come out from there. But I think really, up against RECCA, we were definitely expecting them to be the underdog. They've come in here, they've performed well enough, they've gotten a few rounds, they've at least shown us what they've got, and that's better than what we saw against Golden Mix. So I guess for TNC, not a bad day at the office. Obviously, they haven't really come out here and been super impressive, but at least they haven't fallen to bits and not been able to do anything.
Yeah, so I mean, TNC, is that just a lack of experience coming out, or could they have done more today, or they did what they could, showed it, RECCA just outplayed them, a bit too much class there in the end, or was there something that maybe TNC could have brought a bit extra today?
I mean, what else can you bring, barring that 5 players either individually all hit 100% form, right? We're talking about they all hit like the best form they're ever going to go. They're all fragging it up. They're not losing in an aim duel. It's just lack of experience. Yep. Like how RECCA have played against how many other teams at that level internationally. I'm fairly certain TNC, a lot of these guys, I mean, these may be some of their first couple of documented matches outside of the ASUS ROG Masters tournament completely. So it is that lack of experience. It is that lack of, oh, if we do this, it's like a checklist, right? You get 1 kill, sick. You get 1 kill, oh, what do we do next? We fall back, we play safe, we play around, get information. They couldn't get to the next step, and that's due to the lack of experience.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of experience there, we do see RECCA, one of the more seasoned teams in the APAC region. In terms of a showing for them, is this just kind of what we expected, a little bit less, a little bit more Elfish?
Maybe a little bit less than what we would have expected, but I think there are excuses for that. It is their first match of the day. Their form hasn't been so amazing of late. So I think that's a pretty reasonable result, actually, for RECCA coming in here. It didn't look like they were going to lose that match at all, which is always good news for them. And across the board, it seemed like it was a fairly team-oriented kind of effort. There was no one that was outperforming anyone else. I think at the end, they were all kind of within 5 kills of each other. I think the lowest was Rosu, and the highest might have been Execute or Frost Misty. But regardless, they were all kind of contributing, which was good to see. The one thing that I wanted to see a little bit more of was Execute with that AWP, which I mentioned on the last panel. But on that CT side, they never really got the economy going quite to the point where they could just afford to buy the AWP after AWP after AWP. I think we saw him a couple of times, and he had a couple of okay rounds, but we didn't really get to see it all that much. So that's something I want to keep an eye on for the next match. But apart from that, I mean, really, I think RECCA, that was a pretty good performance from them. I've got no complaints.
Yeah. Kevin?
Yeah, it's similar to what Jordan said. I mean, Execute, yeah, sure, he got that 4 kill on the B site defense, but TNC were just a little bit spread out, and by a little bit, they were just going one by one and just giving the AWP probably very favorable angles. I'd take them any time of the day. So, yeah, I'd like to see him up against the AWP against Golden Mix. Coming up, I think, is our next match. I'd like to see him pick up the AWP a little bit more, show us what he has, and hopefully bring that form forward, because we have the quarterfinals afterwards as well. That's where RECCA should be looking forward to. It should be, okay, let's close this out next one against Golden Mix comfortably, and then let's go towards the quarterfinals. We're all ready, ready to go. We're all at, pretty much peak CSGO performance.
Well, there you have it, 16-8, RECCA favorites winning out against the hometown team TNC. But stay tuned, we have the final best of 1 in this group, RECCA taking on Golden Mix after this break. Hello and welcome back to the ASUS ROG Masters APAC Finals for 2017, and we're joined by another fresh face on this somewhat hot swap of a desk here, Justin Villaserin, otherwise known as Vil. You would have seen him casting the first 2 games. You are a local. I have to ask a question. We do have Mineski coming in phase 3 of the tournament, but we just saw your team leave. What were your thoughts on that, just quickly before we move on?
Oh, well, for me, actually rooting for Mineski, but I guess the other teams can defeat them. Maybe. I'm not that sure about that, but of course, I'm rooting for my own team, the Philippine teams, of course. So, Philippine pride.
Yeah. Can you be proud of what TNC put in there, or a little bit disappointed? How are you feeling about that?
For me, of course, they're pretty new.
Yeah,
in the tournament, of course, and it takes time for them to regain that experience, for them to come up something that can beat their opponents. But for me, I'm actually pretty proud of them, of course. They're just playing at this kind of tournament, just representing the Philippines, of course, trying to be one of Asia Pacific's top teams.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'm pretty proud of them.
So there you have it. If you were just tuning in, unfortunately they are out. The local guys coming out of this group stage, they've lost their 2 opening matches to Golden Mix and RECCA. And now it's just the top-seeded game against these 2 teams. Elfish, break it down for us.
Yeah, so Golden Mix and RECCA, both of them picking up their first match as a victory against TNC, obviously. So for me coming into this one, I think we kind of all expected that RECCA should be the favourite in this matchup, should be the favourite in any of their matchups in this group, and so far that's held true. Admittedly, RECCA maybe took a little bit longer to close up TNC than I thought they might, but now they are going up against Golden Mix, who in theory should be a little bit more of a difficult opponent. In practice, I do feel as though it might actually end up being a little bit easier here for RECCA, not necessarily because they're opponent, but more so just the fact that they've been warmed up now. They're going to be a little bit used to it. They're a bit more turned on, and I think that we're probably going to see another fairly similar kind of a result here for RECCA. They should be able to close this one out fairly comfortably.
Yeah, Vil, do you share that sentiment that maybe that first game wasn't so much of TNC playing well, but RECCA just kind of slow start, warming up? Do you think they're going to be a lot stronger coming into this match against Golden Mix?
Yes, for me, of course, because they just had their practice, their first match, of course. They can make that as a stepping stone as their practice, of course, to face against Golden Mix. But of course, I would like to point out Excret, the youngest player of RECCA, and just really exploded that game. Multiple kills, headshots everywhere, and knowing that in HLTV, he's the top rated player for RECCA, and we all know that maybe they can do something about it. And knowing that RECCA is the second team in Indonesia, and of course they're just the Indonesian powerhouse, and I'm confident as well. But I'm actually rooting for RECCA at this game.
Yeah, going for the favorites there. But
yeah,
I mean, Golden Mix, this isn't a game. Counter-Strike isn't a game where, if A beats C, A beats B, that means A will defeat C. But Golden Mix, they're all very strong against TNC. We didn't give too much credit for them. They ended up stealing away 8 rounds. Is there any kind of potential troubling signs for RECCA facing this lineup, or?
Well, for me, it's all about the Chinese meta, if they can pull that off, because you know that Golden Mix is still a Chinese team. Like they're from Taiwan, Chinese team, different meta, of course, and knowing that Golden Mix is facing off like Vici Gaming, all the top teams in China. Maybe Golden Mix has that upper hand versus RECCA. But still, I'm gonna stand my ground, and I'm just gonna still go for RECCA.
Yeah. I mean, I think despite the fact that they've had that opportunity to play against, I think it was Vici, and then they've also played against Boot Dreamscape. Both times they went down 0-2. This is obviously Golden Mix we're talking about. I think as a general rule, RECCA has had more strong opponents to play against. So we've seen them obviously in the Zen League, so they're up against teams like Firepower, teams like MVP, teams like the Mongols as well. And so they've been able to challenge all of those teams and been able to beat a lot of those teams as well. I mean, I think as a general rule, yeah, the guys from RECCA are going to have that little bit of extra experience here over Golden Mix, and that, I mean, we've talked about their firepower as well, which I don't think has necessarily stepped up so much today, but I do think that this is going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout the rest of the competition. I mean, it was a little bit of a slow start there for RECCA up against TNC, and they didn't really get the AWP in the hands of Excret, so I think there's some takeaways there that hopefully we're going to get to see something a little bit more impressive here from RECCA now that they've had that time to warm up, and I guess depending on what side they start on here, if they're on the CT side, if they can get that economy rolling, we're definitely going to be seeing Excret with the AWP in his hands a lot more, or if they're on the T side, then he's going to have the AWP a little bit easier as well, given the T economy is a bit easier to handle than the CT side. So For RECCA up against Golden Mix here, I really think that there's not a huge chance for Golden Mix. I mean, there's a chance, obviously. There always is. But for RECCA, this should be, again, another fairly straightforward match for them. And then they have to really focus on who they're going to be playing up against in those best of threes later on tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we did speak that there was that potential that RECCA was a little bit slow to start there. Can Golden Mix maybe, you know, pay tribute to that, do work something around it? Because, I mean, looking at the bracket, the way these kind of final systems work, it is that kind of top seed coming against the second seed. Both these teams have made it through because, unfortunately, TNC didn't get a single map off, which means that the winner of this bracket gets a pretty cruisy ride, whereas, you know, we talked about the top seeds in these other groups. There's the Atleticos, the 5-Power. Does Golden Mix almost have more to play for here to try to get out of that potential of facing one of these teams, which, you know, once again would be a very difficult matchup?
Yeah, definitely. And I think if they were to be able to do that, then that'd be great. But obviously, if they were to be able to beat RECCA, then you'd have to assume they might also be able to challenge teams like 5-Power and like Athletico, who we would kind of put on the same level as a team like RECCA. And you kind of talked about, would potentially Golden Mix be able to take advantage of the slow start that RECCA might have been having against TNC? I think it's actually going to be the opposite now. It's going to probably be Golden Mix that's going to have the slow start because they've had a match off, they've been having a bit of a chill out, you know, they've warmed down. And RECCA is coming off a pretty good win. They'll be feeling nice. So I think actually what we need to make sure of, at least for Golden Mix's sake, is that they start off strong here in this one and don't take 5 or 6 rounds to warm up, because if they do that, they're probably down 5 and 6 rounds, and that's probably the match over.
Yeah, and what do we think about map selections here, the veto process? Does that come into play? You think it'd probably come more into play for Golden Mix as they don't have that depth, but, you know, thoughts on that?
Well, for me, if RECCA got the Cobblestone, that's the best map for RECCA right now.
Yeah.
With 80% win rate, and the last, the least map for them is Inferno. And for me, if they got the Cobblestone, it's gonna be a hard time for Golden Mix for them to win this match.
They did very well though against the TNC there on Cobblestone.
Yeah, but I mean, TNC, we've already seen, you know, they didn't really add much to Cobblestone, so it was kind of just the Golden Mix show. They didn't really have to show us all that much. And I do think if they go up against a team like RECCA, then RECCA's going to have a little bit more in the playbook on Cobblestone. And I mean, we've got a couple of other good maps for RECCA, like if we get on Train, if we get on Overpass. I think Inferno is probably, yeah, like one of their weaker maps in a sense, given they don't play it too much, but when they do play it, they actually do okay on it. So for me, like Nuke, if we see Nuke come out here, that's where RECCA might struggle. But apart from that, I feel like every other single map here is going to be favourable for RECCA.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're Golden Mix there, do you go the kind of heavy, you're sort of the Asian meta where you anti-strat against those map, or it's just the RECCA map pool is just a bit too deep there?
Well, for me, Golden Mix is really strong in Cobblestone also. But of course, Golden Mix is really new. Maybe not that old compared to RECCA.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm still go with RECCA owning that Cobblestone map. And I'm actually rooting for, I want to see RECCA Esports playing in Inferno, their weakest map, to see what, like, if they can pull something through in that match.
I mean, by some grace of a higher power, if they do end up on Inferno.
Yeah.
I mean, you just seem to hate Golden Mix right now.
I've got nothing against them, honestly. I just think maybe I'm just a fanboy of RECCA at this point, because they definitely, to me, seem like the strongest team in this group. So yes, maybe if we get on Inferno, I'm still going to say I'm favouring RECCA.
So it doesn't make a difference, you know, Dust, Assault,
yeah, look,
Season,
if we get on Tuscan, who cares? We're going to see RECCA pick up a victory there. I feel like their man-for-man power is going to be just a little bit too much. Admittedly, not quite on point today from what we've seen so far, but again, it is the early stages of the tournament. You don't want to peak in day one up against the weaker teams. You want to save a little bit for later on down the tournament. You know, Saturday, Sunday, that's where you want to be hitting your peak. And so, for me, at the moment, I think RECCA is progressing well, and I hope that they continue doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's all about the sides, of course. RECCA is strong in CT, but not going well in terror side. But let's see if RECCA can do something about this match. And I really hope that this match will be really close, like 15, 16, 14 something. I just don't want to watch a one-sided game again.
Yeah, I think there definitely is some potential there for an upset. I mean, it's a best of one, and you know, it's Counter-Strike. This is what we all love about it. So, Vil, I'll throw to you first, mate. Prediction for a scoreline here. You want it to be close, but does your analytical side think that it will be close?
Well, for me, I believe that it's going to be close, but the strongest in Indonesia versus the strongest here in Taiwan, I believe that it's going to be like 16 to 13, I guess, in favor of still RECCA. But yeah, I'm just hoping for the better of these two teams.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Just say it though, because for prosperity's sake.
for Golden Mix here, you know, I have to come in and say I think that they're probably going to be at a deficit in this one. I'm thinking that RECCA should be able to close it out relatively cleanly. Now, the Golden Mix guys, I mean, we've seen them playing up against some strong teams, and we've seen them picking up victories as well, but not necessarily against those strong teams. And for me, that's the main takeaway for them, is that, yeah, while we've seen a little bit of them, they haven't shown us anything impressive against anyone that would give me any kind of a hope that they can actually beat RECCA here. And yes, while it is best of one, you still expect that RECCA should come away with a victory here. But I think it does come down to the maps as well. I mean, can't really make a very informed prediction before we find out what map it is.
I don't think your predictions are ever very informed.
Well, all right. But I'm still leaning towards RECCA here. I think it's going to be, you know, again, I'm sort of 16-6, 16-8 kind of scenario. But maybe they can stretch it out to 12.
Yeah, I'll just preface my prediction by saying, you know, this is a LAN event, and those results against those bigger teams, I'm not too sure where they'll play out, but, you know, most of them were online. They could just be the big game players. That kind of millisecond difference in the LAN environment might make that change, and they could be, you're just a big game hunter. So I'm actually going to vote for that upset here, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, pending the maps. But
you call my predictions uninformed. Now you're pulling out that.
It's a best of one. RECCA, they could be a bit of a slow start. Both these teams are going to make it through. There's everything. Can you smell it?
No, I can't smell anything.
There's an upset in the air.
No,
I think
I don't smell it. I honestly can't smell that.
So I'm gonna go for like a 16-13 there, and it's gonna be really close. And there's gonna be an anti-eco somewhere that turns the tide, but I'm gonna go for it. And I think it's a very unpopular opinion, but Golden Mix for a bit of an upset. I don't know.
I'd love to see it. I mean, it would put us in a pretty interesting position heading into obviously those best of threes, because if Golden Mix do pick up this victory here against RECCA, that would mean RECCA then comes out as second seed, and they'll have to play one of those first seeds, which at this point we are expecting to be Firepower, SC Absolute, and Atletico. So any of those matches, RECCA playing up against any of those teams, it really could go either way. And so, yeah, I mean, that would be a bit of a surprise, but I don't think it's happening, Danny. I can't smell it, unfortunately.
Phil, can I convince you? Can I sway you somehow?
Well, yeah. To be honest, for me, that's true. You have different performance in online and in LAN. You have to outcome that nervousness of playing in LAN. And of course, you're just being casted live, watched by thousands of people in a different country. And for me, RECCA's experience in LAN is really heights here compared to, I guess, to Golden Mix. And I think that's the biggest advantage that they have. It's all about the experience in LANs and competing with other countries as well, different metas. And I hope that Golden Mix can overcome everything for them to give out a good show for RECCA.
Well, I mean, Nerves do a funny thing, right? A lot of the time, like, you know, I used to run quite a handy 100 meters in my school carnival, and I swear to you, when there was an audience there, I could run it in like 10 seconds. That's what Nerves do, I think. So. I've never seen your eyebrows go higher than that. You're just like, with that.
I haven't seen you run in my life, Daddy.
I probably wouldn't make 100 meters. But on that note, we do have the map veto here, so this will be interesting. Give us a little bit more insight and can speculate off of this. Golden Mix taking out Train, which is, you know, not so uncommon. Overpass taken away from RECCA. What do you think of this, Selfish?
I think that's a little bit interesting. Obviously, we know RECCA does play Overpass a little bit, but perhaps they're just not feeling it today. I think the Train veto coming out from Golden Mix is a very, very good option, though. So, you know, so far, nothing too crazy in my mind.
Yeah, and we do see Cobble taken out by Golden Mix there, so obviously that it probably is that counter strat there.
Exactly. This is the two maps that you want to be taking away against a team like RECCA. We saw TNC do it. Didn't really help them, but at least they had the right idea. And so we're seeing Golden Mix do it again. We'll see whether or not that's going to help them out.
Yeah, and now we see Nuke obviously removed by RECCA there. That's pretty standard stuff,
Exactly what you want to see. I mean, RECCA don't want to play Nuke. That's for certain. So, yeah, definitely a good choice.
And Vil, I'll throw this last one to you. Mirage obviously taken away by Golden Mix, and we do end up on the dream map, Inferno.
Finally, all right, so we're going to see RECCA and Inferno, knowing that they only have 28% win rate in Inferno, but I hope they can overcome everything, knowing that they're in the Philippines, different atmosphere, of course, different metas with the Chinese people, and I really hope they can win this match. But of course, you need to pull out everything. You need to get that pocket strategies, knowing that this is going to be a best of one, just aiming for the top seed in that group. I'm really rooting for RECCA, and of course, I'm actually giving my best of luck for Golden Mix.
Well,
I'm not being biased, by the way.
Not
I'm
at
just
all.
stating. I'm just checking my stats.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, 28% is not a very convincing rate, is it, Elfish?
No, I mean, look, honestly, I think for RECCA, they probably were hoping for Cache out of this, out of that random choice. But overall, even though they haven't managed to get onto that Cache map, I do still feel as though they're going to have enough here. Regardless of what side they start on, regardless of how it goes, as long as they don't have an awful first half, you know, they come into it, let's say 8-7, 9-6 kind of worst sort of scenario for them. They should have enough in the second half once they're warmed up to be able to close this one out. So I'm still backing RECCA regardless of the map.
Yeah, well, that map's come out, which has just made me all the more confident there. I'm just going to brush off my suit and say, you heard it here first.
Can't wait to say I told you so.
Oh, neither can I, mate. Neither can I. But let's focus on RECCA because they are the team that actually have something to lose out of this situation.
Yep.
Like I said, not too much pressure, but there is the status, you know, that kind of dynasty post the Bintet era. If they come out second best on this map, you know, and then they don't garner a result for the rest of the tournament, is that going to be an issue?
Yeah, that's going to raise some questions, I think. Obviously, we've been talking about how they've been in a bit of a downturn in form lately, and whether or not, if things go poorly for them, do they need to make a change? Do they need to sort of think about, you know, maybe they can swap a player into a different position, or they just replace a player or something like that. Certainly, if they have a struggle in performance here, like let's say they lose this match, and then they lose in that next best of 3, so they get knocked out on day 1, essentially. That, for me, would then be a bit of a real concern for RECCA. I would have expected them to go a lot deeper in this tournament than getting knocked out there. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, yes, that's for me, a bit of a worrisome sign.
Yeah, Bill, you're putting a lot of pressure on RECCA here to just kind of bring it home in this last best-of-1 matchup.
Well, for me, yes, they have that 28% win rate in Inferno, but maybe they're just practicing really hard, and they just have that secret strategy in Inferno they can pull through to win at this game.
Yeah, it might come to that. I mean, if RECCA have to pull out the strats that they've been saving for the later parts of the tournament.
They have actually had a little bit of time. You know, they haven't been playing too much right now. Obviously, Zen League's finished a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago. So since then, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. They've been able to probably sit back, perhaps take some scrims and have a bit of a think about what they want to do, whether they want to increase their map pool and whether they want to put Inferno into it. I do think that, you know, they should come into this one with a reasonably decent idea of what they want to be doing. You know, you don't leave a map in the pool if you can't play it. There's just no questions about it, but particularly given the fact they've been removing maps like Overpass, where we know that they're fairly decent on Overpass. So obviously they prefer to play Inferno than Overpass. So I have to put my faith in RECCA in this one. Like, you should know your own map pool, and I certainly think that RECCA is the caliber of a team that will. So I still think that they're going to be okay here.
Yeah, just as a little bit of insight there, I was fortunate enough to have a bit of a chat to Frost Misty as he was warming up yesterday, and you know, he came in, I was like, you guys confident coming to this event? And like, yeah, we have to, because, you know, they didn't make the Zen League finals, which they were expected to do.
Yeah.
Are they putting a bit of pressure on themselves, which, you know, this can play with players' heads, really?
Yeah, I think so. This is probably, for them, like the biggest tournament that they're going to potentially play, at least in this half of the year, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously they've not qualified for Zen. They were at Season 1 Zen finals. But apart from that, you know, this is another big one of those tournaments where they want to be able to have an impact and say, hey, you know, stepping up and saying, hey, look at us. We are a good team. And so, yeah, this, I think, for them is actually quite important to be able to get their name out there and to be able to, again, like you said, build that dynasty post-Bentet. And if things go well for them, everyone's going to be talking about RECCA again after they've beaten a lot of the strong teams here. So, I mean, whether or not we do end up seeing that, I don't know. But I certainly hope for RECCA that we will be able to see that, because I do enjoy watching this team. I think they're an exciting team to watch, and I'm enjoying seeing the development of this team as well. So, for me, and for RECCA probably, this is quite an important match and quite an important event.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that they were at the finals for Season 1 Zen. They weren't just at the finals, they actually won that event over a very valiant MVP PK, and they come around the second turn, and it's just like the expected champions to make the finals again. They fall short, they have a couple of more stints, not the best showing, and now they're here. They got to get through this kind of first phase to make it. I mean, is that going to be kind of a factor that kind of plays on their minds a bit too much?
Well, yes, of course. But way back in Zen League Season 2, they won against 5 Power, lost against MVP PK, and they lost against 5 Power again. But I believe that that's going to be the experience that they need for this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, there are some inconsistencies, and in a best of 1, if that comes to play, that could be it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, we saw them starting slowly against TNC, and they were probably let off the hook a little bit in that matchup, I thought. Like I said earlier, I mean, there was a lot of rounds where they were down 2 or 3 players, and very, very early on in the round as well, they were losing those players, and you thought, look, TNC is going to close this round out 90% of the time. It ended up being maybe 30 or 40% of the time that they actually did close out a round where they had a big advantage. We saw multiple 2v4s, 1v3s, that kind of thing going the way of RECCA. And unfortunately for TNC, it obviously ended up the way that it did. But I think if RECCA allows that kind of a situation to again come to the fore here against Golden Mix, perhaps Golden Mix is going to be a little bit better at punishing their mistakes. So I'd like to see a bit of a cleaner game here from RECCA. I'd like to see them probably respecting Golden Mix a little bit more as well, because I think they kind of played a little bit aggressive, a little bit loose, I suppose, against TNC. But I don't think that's going to fly against Golden Mix.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an opportunity as a wake-up call to kind of recalibrate, really show what they're made of. But, I mean, that's not going to fly, definitely, if you go to the later parts of this tournament, is it?
Yeah, but in Golden Mix way back in ROG Taiwan finals, qualifier finals, they up against Action. And, of course, in Inferno, they got 16-8. And I think they're pretty good in Inferno also. But, of course, they had a anti-eco and ROG, of course, qualifiers again. Their score is 16-2, and I guess they're really strong in their region. But of course, this is country versus country, and
yeah, so like there's obviously you can be strong in your region, but then when you go internationally, it's kind of a whole different ball game. I mean, we see that as well with a lot of the Australian teams where they just dominate the region, and then when they play internationally, sometimes they do end up struggling. We'll see whether, again, that's going to be a similar sort of scenario here for teams like Greyhound and Atletico, who are definitely up towards the top of the Australian region. But here against teams like RECCA, teams like Firepower, teams like Fire Dragoon, these are guys that we're expecting maybe they're going to have some struggles with.
What is a Dragoon?
I don't know. It's a dragon with an extra O.
Dragoon.
Thanks. That was a... Do you know what a Dragoon is? Is it an Asian thing? Am I being racist?
Character in StarCraft, maybe?
Let's not bring up that title here. We're all about the CS:GO.
Yeah.
So I mean, now we know it's Inferno. You already gave me a couple of score lines. Let's round it out. Give me one. Give me a firm one.
I don't even remember what I said actually, Danny. I think I said 16-10, 16-12.
You stick by that on Inferno?
Yeah, I'm probably going to stick by that. I think now that we've got Inferno, this might actually progress a little bit longer here. I think Golden Mixers have got a decent chance of actually, in a sense, challenging RECCA. But how hard they're going to challenge them, probably not too much. It should still be closed out with a decent amount of rounds to spare here for RECCA. I really don't think that it should be going to 16-14, overtime, anything like that, even 16-13. So let's say 16-12, best case scenario here for Golden Mix, but realistically between 16-10 and 16-12.
Well, for me, of course, Inferno is the lowest win rate for RECCA, but that can be the secret map for them to win because of their, of course, maybe they're just practicing that map and they're just doing something crazy again, just doing scrims against other teams. Just, of course, we're not going to play this online, but in LAN with their friends, of course, maybe we can try this out, and in competitions like this, we can push through that. We're going to play Inferno, and we can surprise our opponents because they didn't know that we have this kind of strategy in Inferno.
Yeah, definitely. So let's say it all goes to the tie. The predictions of the wonderful Elfish guy goes correct. RECCA come out on top. Golden Mix, do we see them progressing potentially to that third phase there against those 6 teams that are already been selected?
I think it depends on how the other groups do end up playing out. Maybe we could potentially see them challenging SC Absolute. I would probably be still backing Absolute there. If they go up against Firepower, I'm definitely expecting Firepower to close that one out. I think out of actually all of these teams in this main qualifiers in Group A to D, I'm probably backing Firepower as the strongest team out of them. I'm thinking they're going to come away as first seed. And then I think for me it's between RECCA and Atletico coming into second seed. We'll see how that one does turn out. But yeah, so maybe if they're up against Absolute, they might be able to sneak a win there. But against any of those other teams, assuming they're playing against the first seed, which in this scenario they are, and those teams are essentially in this scenario getting that first seed, I don't expect to see them coming through.
I really just see, I wanted them to win as an underdog fan, but now I just really want to come back to this desk after a 16-13.
You want to clip that?
Yeah.
Be like, well, I told you so. But it's going to be me that's saying I told you so, Danny.
Yeah, I guess I can't put it past you. It definitely is not the logical way to go about it, but I'm sure these two teams will be underway very shortly here in the final best-of-1 series. We do have a lot of games happening in kind of the background there in the other groups of B, C, and D.
Yeah, Firepower won their match, their first match, which was to be expected. It was fairly close. I think at the moment, Absolute is up fairly heavily in their first match as well. Most of those matches are, still in the first round, I think, or even the first or second round. So we're a little bit ahead of all the other matches or all the other groups. But so far, from what I'm seeing from the results, pretty much everyone that's expected to win is winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice experience for these kind of lower tier teams to come into it, but really when you're looking at the Five Powers, the RECCAs, the Atleticos, it's going to be a huge upset. I mean, any of these kind of lesser known teams to make it through to that kind of final third phase would be very impressive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be a great experience for them. I mean, it's obviously going to be, well, a lot of experience to be able to play up against some of these better teams. Obviously, they're all having the opportunity, at least in their groups, to be able to play against a higher tier team. So, for example, for TNC and for Golden Mix, they have that opportunity to play against RECCA. And so the other groups are going to be able to play against teams like Five Power, teams like Atletico, these guys that have a lot of international experience. And so, yeah, it's obviously very good for them, but is it realistic to think that they're going to be able to really get out of those groups and really be able to do damage in this tournament? I certainly don't think so. And let's say even if, in some ideal world, where one of these lower tier teams does come out of this main qualifier, maybe in second seed, then they have to go up against Greyhound as their first match.
Is there a little bit of Greyhound bias there in your voice, or this is analytical Elfish guy going, hey, Greyhound, you know, they got the lineup, they got the players?
Look, honestly, domestically speaking, I always underrate Greyhound, actually.
Yeah, they kind of fly down the radar.
They fly under the radar a lot. At least for me, like pretty much every match they play, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, you know, best case scenario here for them might be a 2-1 loss or a 1-1, depending on what the format is, you know, if it's a best of two. But for me, coming into this tournament, definitely Greyhound is the favourite in my eyes. They are seed number 1. Obviously, Boot Dreamscape not able to be here, and MVP PK not being able to be here either kind of elevates them a little bit, and I would have definitely put those two teams above them. But in saying that, for me right now, Greyhound is definitely looking like one of, if not the best teams. Comes down to whether or not Five Power and RECCA sort of impress in this main sort of qualifier, but right now, Greyhound all the way.
Definitely. Pil, I didn't get an opportunity to ask you because we did have Sniper on the desk, but how about yourself?
So actually for me, All right, so actually for me, of course, some of the teams that are playing right there is like very new team in playing lands. But I'm actually rooting for the veteran teams. Of course, we have Five Power, we have Atletico. Actually rooting for them, but of course, overall, I'm actually rooting for of course, Philippine teams, Minaski to win. I need to be biased with my country, of course. But yeah, at least the newbies, the new teams is playing their first lands, their first international lands in this game. This is the stepping stone. This is the experience that they need at their next journey.
Yeah, I'm going to break it down to you. Obviously, he has, being from Australia as well, might be a little bit biased here, but I do agree with, to some extent, that Greyhound do have an opportunity to take out this whole entire tournament. But Minaski, we saw a couple of signs of life there with, you know, the qualifiers for IEM Oakland. Do they have the caliber to take this through?
Well, for
being completely unbiased, if you can be, of course, which is hard, separating away from the home team.
Well, for me, they just came from China, of course, from a tournament, of course. And here in Southeast Asia, they're trying so hard for them to, of course, rack up that points, rack up that ranking for them to be the top team, of course. But some games are just having a hard time winning, but some games are just owning that game. But of course, it's my people.
It's my people.
I need to root for them, of course.
Yeah,
that's my take.
Yeah, look, for Minaski, I'd like to see them perform well here, just in front of the home crowd, so that we kind of get a bit of a home crowd bias, perhaps, coming in from the crowd. But being realistic, you know, being the analyst, sort of glass half full kind of guy, maybe not quite half full at this point. I do think that they're going to struggle up against some of these stronger teams. Definitely, I've been talking about Greyhound. I think, obviously, Signature from Thailand is going to be another one that we want to watch out for, and Fire Dragoon as well from Malaysia, with Kaze coming in there. So I think there's a lot of good teams coming in through that Phase 3 and into the, obviously, basically the main event. And then there's a lot of strong teams that can come out of this main qualifier as well that I even feel like probably are going to be perhaps a little bit stronger than Minaski, but obviously coming through from a stronger region are coming through as their sort of second seed, and they didn't automatically get that invite through to the main event, and they have to actually qualify through this one. So for me, unfortunately for Minaski, I'm going to predict them not very high in this tournament.
Oh, a little bit of rivalry happening there, but...
at least I tried.
No, we never know.
We'll see. Who knows? Well, I might be wrong.
His 28% will be a good percentage for Elfish Guy with his predictions there. I think he sits on about 0.8% of being correct. So, at this stage, based on what he said, touch wood, Minaski are pretty much favourites now.
I haven't got a prediction wrong so far today, Danny.
It's true. He is on fire, but I just got to touch on this thing. I digress a bit, but we've been talking about a lot of the glass half full situation. A lot of these underdog teams, right? That's the precedent it sets. They haven't really got a chance. They're here for experience and a little bit of exposure. But there's this saying. I'm going to tell this to you guys. One of my new favourite sayings, right? 2 million people in the world die of dehydration.
Is that so?
it doesn't matter if the glass is half full or half empty.
Right.
Shut up and drink the water.
I will drink the water.
Yeah.
I will drink the water,
there
and
you go,
I'll
mate.
drink to a RECCA victory today.
We will be which will hopefully be underway very shortly here. Just a couple of more things to be ironed out, but looking at the way we're going, it should be underway shortly here. I guess we've beaten this as much as we can, essentially.
Yeah, look.
Any more final thoughts before we go to the game?
No, not really. Like, I think for RECCA coming out of this group in first place is going to be obviously the goal. So we should be at least hoping to see that come out in this match and be able to see them have a good victory. I'd like to see them hit that peak form, so I need to see them have a good match today up against Golden Mix. Obviously, the one against TNC was their first match of the day. Can't really read into it too much. Want to see, again, those three players stepping up like I spoke about. Excurate, he had an okay match for me, but again, he wasn't really at that level that we would have necessarily expected from him a few months ago. And then obviously Sis and Rozu. I thought Rozu was maybe a bit quiet, and he's generally the one to actually step up for this roster in most situations. So definitely looking for Sis, Rozu, and Excurate to be stepping up here for RECCA. And if that happens, then we'll see them having a good tournament.
Well, for me, I actually feel bad for TNC with that 2 loss against Golden Mix, and RECCA is very heartbreaking for me, of course, and for them. But here in RECCA versus Golden Mix, I'm actually rooting for the newest member of RECCA, which is Next Swing. Of course, the extreme accuracy of Excret, plus the entry frag, as you can see on the last game, just trying to kill everyone with that, trying to be disciplined, just not even moving at that same position, just waiting for the right moment for them to, of course, to kill someone. So I'm actually rooting for Recca, but it's all up to Frost Misty. I mean, like, his entry frags is really on point, and I guess Recca and Golden Mix is really the highlight of the show.
Yeah, definitely. It's weird every time you say Frost Misty. I mean, every time I cast one of his games as well, I always feel like a beer.
Yeah.
Isn't that, no?
Frost Misty.
A nice frosty, misty beer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting kind of thing to, I guess, associate with a CSGO player. But look, you do you, Danny. I mean, I can kind of see where it connects a little bit.
To me.
Your mind works in mysterious ways.
You know, sometimes no. I think Golden Mix is going to be, you know, that's the hot tip. If you're watching this right now, I am putting the house Golden Mix upset. I mean, I love the guys on RECCA. We've had, you know, a lot of interaction with them across Zen League and whatnot, and a lot of great guys on that team, but I don't know, it just seems right that Golden Mix will happen, and we haven't really had, you know, we haven't had too many games as of yet, but we haven't really had that upset yet. And yet you just frown, shake your head, and say, you're crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get an upset here, Danny. I mean, it is the best of one, so there's always that potential, and we'll have to see what RECCA can pull off for us here. I suppose at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's going to occur, really. Like, from Golden Mix, what we saw against TNC, great. Excellent stuff, 16-3. It looks awesome, but you kind of have to consider where TNC is at in comparison to both of these two teams, and you think, you know, they are the weaker team. They've been beaten quite handily there as well by RECCA. It means, essentially, for me, that Golden Mix wasn't really challenged too much against TNC. So I think that, you know, you can't draw too many conclusions from them having a really strong victory. And so coming into this one against RECCA, I mean, I have to back the experience. I'm always the kind of person that will go with, I suppose, the favorite. You know, just to be safe. I'm on the safe side all the time, and that's why I get all my predictions right, Danny.
Really? You get well, someone needs to go back through every single VOD you've done and tabulate a bit of a calculation there. But, yeah, I guess we're just waiting for this game to get started. Some exciting stuff. This is the kind of pause for drama, right? Pause for effect.
Yeah.
Let's lead into the final best three. See who gets the top seeding out of this Group A that we've been covering the whole time. And then we'll find the winner. See what I did there?
No.
It's a bit of
a pause.
A bit of a pause for effect.
Pause for effect. All right. Well, look, I mean, obviously we talk about Group A. We expect RECCA to come out of that one. When we talk about the other groups, even if RECCA does come out in first place here, they're obviously, assuming they face up against the second seed, which is going to be a team like, well, not 5-Power, not Absolute, and not Atletico, they should have a fairly decent time. So overall, I've got to say, I think that right now for RECCA, they should be able to come through at least until Friday. If not Friday, then we could potentially be seeing a pretty down and out RECCA.
Yeah, I mean, this. I mean, we try to be amicable about it. We try to kind of avoid that question. I mean, we speak of the Bintet dynasty, and he's just not a regular player, right? I mean, he is not here. He's obviously in Tyloo. They're not part of this tournament, but he's a huge loss, right?
Yeah, in a
Like-
sense, yes, definitely. I mean,
We
there's never
brush it off as if it's nothing to give RECCA the credit, but that leaves a hole in your team.
there's definitely no real situation where you're going to go from Bentet to someone better. I think that's
Yeah,
fair to say. And
exactly.
I mean, it's hard. Like, obviously, as Next Win's coming into this roster in Bentet's place, and to an extent as well, Crazy Guy was kind of filling in for him for a little while. You know, you're never going to be able to come in and have the impact that a player like Bentet is going to have. But I think RECCA as a whole kind of knew that coming into it, and a lot of people were saying, I mean, they were saying, you know, RECCA's going to be dead. RECCA's going to be a bad team without Bentet. And I didn't necessarily subscribe to that belief. You can see the core roster still has a lot of skill, a lot of potential to be able to build some really good matches and some really good, I suppose, unity as a team, even without Bentet. So I think that they definitely are going to be a decent team. And again, I just have to wait and see for them to really hit that peak potential. And hopefully Next Wins is going to slot into this roster. I think he's done okay, but I do probably think that he has actually been the weakest player on this roster. I want to see how he goes at this tournament, though.
Yeah, hopefully he will bring it up. But like I said, the two professionals are saying that it's going to be quite an easy win for RECCA. But you heard it here first, a DK special. Golden Mix for the upset. And to take us through all the action, here's Sniper and Karath.
Thank you once again, Danny. And Ian, good to see you again. We're back together.
Always
Took
good.
a while.
Yeah, it did take a while.
It's been a couple of months, but
We were in the hyperbolic time chamber just practicing our commentary skills, and now we're fresh.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too. What?
I don't think there's much that we can add on to what they just said. I'm
I
fairly
think-
certain they just wrote the entire essay on this.
I think at this point we just want to get the game started, don't we, really? You know, but we all think RECCA is going to be number one. What do you think?
Still, I have to wait and see. If Golden Mix were looking in pretty impressive form against TNC, which isn't much to really go by because they weren't challenged.
Yeah.
Whereas for RECCA, if they take this maybe a little bit too loosey-goosey, who knows?
I guess for me, we just need to see whether or not Cedric steps up again like he did against TNC. But we've got the banana push coming through, and Golden Big D taking down Frost Misty as Golden trades on to Sis. We've got Next Wins in banana. Coming up the CT, rotate, coming up banana, like it's just reversed. Everything's reversed, but Golden with a nice triple kill. Oh, sorry, Aegis. Golden.
Oh, my goodness.
And here we go with a nice little pause.
Yeah, so it looks like we're extended once again. Yeah.
But I mean, whoa, that was like a very fast-paced pistol round. I wasn't expecting that from Aegis. Just that 3 kill, bang, bang, bang.
Very, very easy, not on a hold.
So it says technical pause with the scores at 0-0. So now I'm not sure what to think. But we've got RECCA on the back foot early on. I can see that the Golden Mix guys have bought up, so they've got SMGs ready to go.
Yeah, there's not much else to say, otherwise pistol round.
Look at them all helping each other out. It's good. Nice teamwork. Get those. How's the hearing on that one? Yeah, it's good. That's what you need, isn't it, Karath? You need a teammate like that.
All right, how's the sound and everything in a booth and whatnot? Oh, what's the pause for here now? Technical
this
pause, most
is
likely?
Technical pause,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, this is pretty good for RECCA. I mean, they pretty much just got blasted away in that first round, and they get to sit and think about what they've done, really. But Golden Mix coming out strong. That's what you want. That's what you want to see. Like they alluded to on the desk.
Yeah, because I wanted to say earlier, we do hype up a lot of RECCA, but I'd argue in the sense because we've seen a lot more RECCA, Golden Mix, we don't know as much. And you'd probably know this, being an underdog so many times throughout your career as well. When you're coming in as the underdog, you've got nothing to lose. You want to show the world exactly what you have in your arsenal, that
Well,
you do have the players that can take it towards these guys.
That's exactly right. I mean, you're coming in as the underdog. They probably haven't got that much respect for you, you know, maybe not even studied your habits or your patterns. And this is where Golden Mix can come out with something fresh, something straight out of their arsenal that you've never seen before as RECCA. And I think that definitely caught them by surprise, especially since they only had 2 on the B bomb site. But we're back underway here, as it looks like RECCA trying to assert some dominance on their eco round. They've actually force-bought into it with the CZs and got some armor as well. But Golden Mix doing the right thing here, just relaxing and setting the pace and allowing RECCA to push into their crossfires.
But what this has allowed, they've allowed RECCA to get very aggressive control. Frost Misty forced to push out through the Molotov. Lee knows exactly what was up, is able to nullify at least one of the threats. As, well, X-Curate will also take an aim deal, gets tagged down quite heavily. So Golden Mist playing the default quite easily so far, able to do some damage. Strolling forward, no worries.
Well, it hasn't been completely smooth sailing as we see HR with 2 nice Mac 10 kills there, getting some money into the bank. Rozu with a nice revenge there, takes down the big D, but Yan Lee comes in and gets a nice trade onto him. So just pretty good tidy up there. Good positioning by Cedric as well, cutting off the rotate from Excurate. But you see another pause coming in. But at the end of the day, I mean, Golden Mix, that was very clean. Obviously just losing the one player.
SMG player as well.
Yeah.
They're never going to be too concerned about worrying it, like losing an SMG. When you lose about 3 players, then we'll probably consider around the 4th and 5th mark that there will be a few issues. But for now, you lose one SMG, it's not going to completely break your economy. You're going to be pretty comfortable going forward towards the first buy round. Whereas for RECCA, fully investing, it doesn't mean that you can't get the AWP out. So once again, we're going to be waiting for Excurate's AWP to come out. I'm fairly certain he forced up Armor and CZ as well.
Yeah, well, the whole team pretty much did, except bar one of them. So that's going to set back RECCA another round. They're going to have to eco into this one. As Golden Mix, they might be able to just keep their SMGs. You know, one guy has to rebuy, maybe even drop him and just let him go Rambo mode with the Tech 9.
Get 2 AKs. Try to take control in Honor with the AK-47s, and then the SMG is just...
No, there's not a whole lot of pressure on them to take control of anything at this point. I mean, the worst case scenario is you go too gung-ho into the round and get demolished by USPs without armor, so...
Yeah, that'd feel pretty bad. USPs. Always worse to go down towards a USB kind of like stack as opposed towards a force buy. Force buy, it's like, you know, they had armor, they had pistols, all right, they won the one-on-ones, but you lose against USPs, you have to severely misplay it.
Yeah, well, it's like getting taken down by Glocks. I mean, it's pretty embarrassing, but...
USPs, I would say, not as embarrassing. Glocks, that's...
Well, I don't know, man. The Glock got fixed, I reckon. This new patch with the Glock, it's deadly accurate.
I would have said, like, pre-existing Glock. 40 damage for a dink. If you got taken out by 5 Glocks, that's the worst. No armor, it's just Glocks.
I mean, I've
seen it happen twice, or 2 or 3 times, and it's made me demoralized every single time.
I mean, the thing is, you get those entry frags onto the smaller bomb site, you get the 2 players, you get their guns, and if you get them onto the players with the full HP and into proper positioning, then you can just bait around your teammates, and at the end of the day, like, 2 guns is a big deal. It's the same as
especially if it's an M4 as well.
Yeah, an M4, and the CTs might not have head armor depending on their economy, and anything can happen in Counter-Strike, and that's why it's such a beautiful game sometimes. But RECCA, they don't even seem that phased at the moment, and why would they? I mean, they're the favourites coming into this, so they lost the pistol, and they only got 1 kill on their eco round, but it's not over yet. It's only
I'd start be probably more concerned when if they do lose the buy rounds, and it depends on which manner that it happens.
Yeah, well, at this point, Golden Mix have got a really good economy. They've hardly had a loss. Two guys have died, and they're getting a lot of kills with their SMGs. So at this point, it's up to RECCA now just to save, get some decent weaponry for the next round, hold off whatever it is Golden Mix brings, and then come into that next gun round strong, because if they get reset, then
it's always going to be difficult coming to the 4th round, though, especially given that you forced up. RECCA are at most going to be able to pick up maybe a smoke and a flashbang on most of their players with an M4, unless they decide to opt for a FAMAS or a UMP with a full utility set. Well, and that means a decrease in firepower.
Well, no, a map like Inferno now, it really lends itself to those close range battles. You see a lot of people using FAMAS and UMP on this map in particular. Maybe not so much at the B-bomb side, unless you're in that first sort of oranges area, where it's a very close range. You see a lot of Mag 7s there back in the day. Not so much prevalent in this version of Inferno, but that close range area really, if you can wait till they're in that bottleneck, then you're good to go with a UMP or something. But you very rarely see those sorts of battles. Everything gets smoked off. The Ts come in fast with flashbangs, Molotovs, and that's where you really see the use of an M4 or even an AWP at the coil box, or now coffin, I guess.
I'll still remember that as coils. I'll always remember that area as barbecue.
I think yeah, and I'll always call like the construction area construction. Like, it's always been con, unless we go way back into 1.6 days where like literally every team had a different name for everything.
Take us away, Daddy Sniper.
Well, it was called Apple at one point.
Apple.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? Because
it's just
obviously
opposite to oranges, like, oranges that first area, but yeah, we just had random.
That makes sense, because I mean the construction was different in 1.6 as well. It wasn't really.
It was more alley.
Yeah, it was alley. It wasn't really a kind of building. It was just 2 boxes there. Yeah. If I remember correctly.
Yep. So it was just. It was actually a really nice place to be post plant, and even as a CT defending the site, you could spam through the walls when they came in and so on. So They definitely changed a lot with the CSGO version, but I can see they've definitely kept true to that old Inferno, especially towards the A-bomb site, reintroducing that little nook in the back of the big pit, which wasn't really that good in CSGO originally. It was kind of useless, but...
So the reintroduction of B bomb site being B. You remember
Yeah,
Source?
that was a big deal, wasn't it? Oh, that was so
yeah.
confusing. There was like a fight between the 1.6 players calling it B and the new Source players calling it A, and I'm glad we won in the end.
Yeah, it's still B. It is B now. I mean, I remember back, barbecue probably wasn't called barbecue. It would be called generator.
Generator or yellow even, something like that.
Because it was a yellow generator.
But now I guess there's so many names for things like it could be main entrance, it could be pool, it could be anything. So, and I mean that comes
corner
down
over
to
there.
Well, it just comes down to communication, and that's what the top teams have a really good gist of. They just got the greatest communication. Everyone knows exactly where everyone is or what they're doing, and you know that's what sets a great team apart just from the mediocre team. So.
I thought you were going to say great and good, but you've compared great and mediocre.
Well, because the great teams have good comms, but the tier 1 teams, obviously, they're tier 1, so they're not great, they're just like amazing, right? They're literally just very uniform in everything they do. They're just like sentinels. They're just 5 people that just think the same. So that's what makes them so good. And, you know, you can only get that good once you have great comms.
Any other stories for you to tell in terms of Inferno? Still not much we can really go over. I mean, what do you think of the Nana changes? Because I feel like they didn't really change too much in terms of the A bomb site as we get back in the action. But Nana has been the biggest change for a lot of teams, both T and CT. It feels like to me it's a bit of a roll of the dice.
Seems pretty dynamic now.
Yeah.
How you defend it or even how you attack it. Same with the A bomb side. I mean, everything seems really dynamic, but we still do see a couple of landslide results here and there.
Let's see if it's going to be a landslide result as RECCA are on the defensive side. Golden Mix, they started off positively so far, but they don't want to be dropping this round against, well, a single CZ and 4 USPs. And Frost Misty picking up a CZ makes me think that, yes, they are going to go for more SMGs and for Masters as opposed towards anything else.
Well, as you can see here, they've taken full control of the jungle area. Big D taking down next win, so that's a good start. And not getting traded out. Now look at this, just the destruction comes in.
That's beautiful from HR.
Yeah, very nice teamwork, just clearing it out. Cedric, again, just tidying up any sort of rotators. Now it's up to XQ8 here just to try and grab an AK into the next round. Not a big deal. Like it's not imperative to their success, but any sort of help they can get at the moment for their economy, especially since they have their only gun round coming up next is Yan Lee just bounces straight past.
And that might mean one of the AKs could be risk. XQ8, how he goes for first ding. He can't land the next couple of shots. Unfortunate for XQ8. And that's really a bit of a misplay on the side of Yan Lee, really, which maybe meant that Big D would have lost his AK. I mean, he wouldn't be able to retrieve it, but still an AK dropped.
You would expect
XQ8
to make that shot 9 times out of 10. So maybe just a few jitters here early on for RECCA Esports as we see Golden Mix and RECCA Esports on a proper gun round. But look at that, Cedric, cheeky little bloke there, keeping his Mac 10.
You farm up against the opponents who have no head armor. You know that RECCA at this stage are most likely not going to have head armor on the majority of these M4s. They have opted for more firepower as opposed to utility, but Cedric just walking straight into a 3-stack at Diggity.
It's a nice little boost there coming out from RECCA Esports as HR comes out balcony and takes down. Next one's in the back, and you get another one here. Really important frag. Gives up halfway through, and his teammate rocks up Yan Lee with the help. As Frost, Misty, and XQ8 now have to retake from the B bomb site. You can see they're taking 2 separate avenues, but still Frost Misty just waiting here, allowing XQ8 to get into position.
But the more time they take, the time is going to be ticking away, unfortunately, and they don't have a kit to work with. I'm not certain if RECCA had one loss, and Yan Lee most likely will be taken out from behind as XQ8 is going to peek out. No, Yan Lee just waiting through the smoke, and now XQ8 comes out from balcony, but 2 angles to challenge.
Nice.
Yan Lee will take down 2 with the AK-47. We'll make it 3 for the round, and Golden Mix, strong start. This is what I said could have happened. I mean, Golden Mix weren't looking shaky on Cobblestone, and definitely they want to show they have the chops to take it against RECCA.
That was really impressive to me, just because I can see the thought process there for Golden Mix. They keep the Mac-10s thinking that they did a lot of damage to the economy of RECCA Esports, especially with that force buy. They take the risk knowing that they don't have head armor. They keep the SMGs. They use the Mac-10 to farm information. They see that there's 2 on the boost. They know the A site's severely weak. Then we've got HR just busting out carpets and causing so much trouble. And then really it was just about preventing the retake. And that's all it really needs to be. A very simplified look at how things are. But that information with the Mac-10 was vital to that round, and they used it when they had it.
And that's not something you see a lot of the time. You'd see maybe a play with the Mac-10 charging in, and Cedric, I mean, he sacked his life effectively. but the rest of Golden Mix took it a mile. And, well, Execute has spotted the gun barrels, but certainly the last part of his head has been sorted out by Golden Mix. And now Big D going to be throwing the Molotov, forces Frost Misty close. I don't really like the setup from this because Execute not going to be close. He's going to throw a flashbang for his teammate. There is going to be a dink on the head of Big D, but he still get the kill. And now they're charging in towards Nana. Cedric with a Mac-10, farming up more cash. And this has just been clean so far from Golden Mix, as now Aegis just locking down second mid, getting another pick. And RECCA Esports falling apart. Might just be an eco, but Golden Mix setting the tone.
It's just really good work there by Golden Mix, not to lose a single player. Hopefully Next wins. They deal with him quite easily. Big D shouldn't really be farming on 5 HP, looking for that last kill, but Next wins with a nice shot there. Gets himself a frag and some money on the board. Nicely traded out there by Yan Lee. So, again, Golden Mix really taking it to RECCA at this point. This is where they need to stand up. Next wins with a lot of cash here. Hopefully he gets that AWP.
This is the round where RECCA need to make a dent. Golden Mix, their economy is now starting to get a little bit out of control for the defensive side. And RECCA, they have all the utility, want all the firepower they want. They don't need to rely on gimmicks in terms of a 3-stack diggity. Taking out of control, it looks like it's succeeding for RECCA so far, even with limited utility. They're forcing a Golden Mix very, very far back. Now, on the rest of Golden Mix, though, they're going straight through this apartment's control. And Age is going to be leading charge of the AK, Big D, right behind him, ready to kind of bust this open. It's going to up to Rosie to kind of hold this off with the M4. He hasn't used any utility yet.
It'll be really interesting to see if Golden Mix can just slip it in here on the balcony, and then Big D gets taken down by Rosie. Aegis not even able to do anything with that flashbang, but the crossfire there from RECCA just coming out strong there. And that's what they needed the previous round, but they had their crossfire on middle. So no information for Golden Mix. They take a big risk going into carpets, and they pay the ultimate price, unfortunately. Nice little aim battle here between Sis and Yan Lee. You can see it's just starting to warm up into the game a little bit. Both players knew exactly where each other were, and now it's all up to HR with the world on these shoulders.
Just looking to do damage at the stage. 2 guns out of the CT hands would be pretty solid, but no kills on the side of Golden Mix. So RECCA on the first buy round, very strong start, but Golden Mix trying to change it up by trying to make a contact play out through apartments. Not going to work favorably for them this time around. So back to the drawing board in terms of executes. They need to start making some presence towards B side. If they leave this B side open sniper, then RECCA, they're just going to start floating their 4th member back towards A.
Well, you can see there, they read that perfectly, had the 4-player there, and I think that just comes down to Golden Mix. They got a bit cocky there, I think. They've had such a lot of success so far in this map, and they just went into the A side execute without any sort of information or any sort of tells from RECCA on where the players were, and they paid the price. So this is what I want to see change from Golden Mix if they're going to keep this dominant lead. Otherwise, RECCA are in a good opportunity here to reset their money and put them on an eco.
And with 5 guns up as well, even if Golden Mix do take this round, RECCA have done a lot of work to make sure that they can at least become combat effective once again, either next round or the round afterwards.
Yeah.
Because so many times you can see in a situation, yeah, CT side does win in this round, but they keep 1 or 2 M4s forward, and then as soon as they lose, well, it's back towards double eco land. That's going to be horrendous.
Ideally for Golden Mix, even if they lose this round, they need to do some more damage than they did in the previous. Get it down to just 1 player remaining, and then they know it's a lot easier to make a decision on whether they force buy or just go in with Glocks or P250. So HR.
That's not a good pick on the side of RECCA because next wins loses life, and Cedric and Rosie just knows. I mean, Golden Mix did have that top mid and a little bit of jungle control, but now they know that one is in library. They don't know where the other 2 members are, and Rosie just going to be molotoving off the side. He's going to be tagged up slightly. They're pushing forward, but oh no, one's caught out towards Speedway. Aegis, no, Frost Misty's still alive, but Aegis will be able to take down Rosie as well at the same time. Down towards a 2-on-4. RECCA just going to be slowing it down a little bit. I think Execure is just holding bot Nana control, but that is a huge turnaround from Golden Mix. And that was literally a second timing between Frost Misty coming in through Speedway, M4 effective for combat, but Execure looking to make it a little bit exciting. Bomb's going to go down, and Aegis going to be pushing forward. He'll take down 1, doesn't know where the last one is. Sis won't be able to catch Aegis off guard for now. But Sis, he has time on his side, but Big D, you don't take down the Big D in a 1-on-1 deal.
His aim is on right now. He's feeling it. You can just tell he's smashing him at the moment.
But look at that. RECCA can buy up in this round. And that is the difference between 5 rifles up and 2 rifles up even. It is the big difference. And Golden Mix...
Literally, if that round previously where they had 5 survive, if they only had 2, they would be eco right now. Yeah. So the thing is also, RECCA Esports just making a few little mistakes, and Golden Mix are making them pay. I mean, the timing on that jungle... rotate into CT. The timing for Frost Misty was so bad, he's like throwing a flashbang or something. And then ultimately, X-Great way too early on the retake, couldn't help out his teammate and paid the price. So Gold Mix is taking full advantage of these tiny mistakes from RECCA, but at the end of the day, we said they've got the aim, but do they have the cohesion and chemistry to deliver? And it looks like so far they do, and RECCA are definitely on the back foot here. Not much utility, trying to starve off any sort of terrorist attack on the banana bomb site. Frost Misty with a good pick onto Big D.
This is what I don't like from Golden Mix, though, in particular, where you can't really just let one person go in. I mean, Yanli was ready to trade, but where's the third person behind that?
This is it. Oh, huge by X-Great. Low HP still gets Yanli. And now it's up to HR with some nice 6 cents spray through the smoke.
Oh, they still let him push through. Why are they watching the smoke? HR. We'll still be able to take him out. Aegis, where is he? He's on the very, very long rotate. At the very least, he's got Nana control, and HR knows this. He has to take his time.
Yeah.
I'd prefer Molotovs to be burnt. The flashbang pushing forward, but they don't know where Aegis is. They're just challenging Bomb Carrier. Aegis has been blinded out, but Roseyu will be able to win the clutch. I don't know what to make of that from Golden Mix. A little bit of misplay, which means they do drop the round, and a little bit of maybe the clutch going in the favor of RECCA. But still, that was really shaky from both sides.
Yeah, very shaky. I mean, you could just see HR knew exactly what was going to happen. As soon as he started to plant the bomb, he knew he was going to get attacked by both players, and therefore he faked it just another time. And unfortunately, Roseyu just comes out on top. Aegis did well to get one. HR obviously missing his spray, but that was pretty scrappy by both teams. So very lucky for RECCA, and they keep their economy slightly intact.
Oh, that's, I wouldn't even say intact. Keeping one M4 forward, you're going to have to force up in this round. You can see that it's going to be 3 for Masters alongside with the 2 A4s. And Golden Mix, I mean, they still got money to work with, but it is starting to drain out a little bit. These rounds have been bleeding them out now, and they're losing gun after gun. But if they're able to take this round, they're going to be in good stead for the rest of the T-half, because they will force RECCA on towards a double eco. Next wins, you can't be giving opportunities like that. There's a flashbang. It's going to catch out too, but there's a trade from Big D. Always in time, ready to get the kill. Yanli needs to be cautious, being pushed forward right now. 1-for-1 is going to be great. If he gets all 2, that is 2 picks for Yanli. B-side is open, and Roseyu, he's just shaking his head going, where has my team gone? And Golden Mix, Roseyu has to save, and they force the CTs onto either a force buy or the double eco.
I mean, it's hard to say at this point what we're witnessing here. Are we seeing something where RECCA have done their homework and it's not going to plan, or are RECCA just going for these sloppy rotates? Like pushing Banana to rotate is not a wise way to be, and they're doing it time and time again, and Yanli just ready to punish them. Obviously, great pick through the smoke there onto Frost Misty, really opening up the round and forcing that pressure from RECCA. They're definitely feeling it, and they're making so many mistakes because they're just maybe trying a little bit too hard to revenge their teammates, but they need to take a step back, I think. Maybe a good pause, maybe a tactical pause this time, and just talk about what's going wrong, because it seems like they're just making the same mistakes time and time again.
And you don't want to be going down as second seed in this group, given that you'll be versing one of the other stronger teams. You know, you want to try and make your way towards the semi-final, increase your chances of making it towards phase 3 for the ASUS ROG Masters.
It's not to say that RECCA can't get out of that position, but it's not ideal. You're going to be up against it from the get-go, and really you want that. You want to be coming up against a lesser seed. That's what you want. It's just minimal risk. Save, keep your cards close to your chest. But at this rate, Golden Mix 8, looking to be 8-2 up.
They're looking so solid at the moment. It's just Yanli at this stage. Nana, any single aggression has been deflected. Frost Misty may sound cool, but a Molotov will flush him out once again. And now it's just Golden Mix just chiming in kill after kill. What is RECCA doing? Nothing at all.
I don't know why RECCA brought armor into this round if they didn't have a real good plan. And as you see here, it's going to come down to the one person on the B site, and he just gets mowed down by that MAC-10 Cedric doing work just like he did on Cobblestone. Just being that entry fragger and just getting the job done. So really good work by him. And obviously, I like that Golden Mix have employed the MAC-10 in this round. You know their ego, and despite them, some of them actually having head armor, he's still not had a bit of success there. So. But Yanli is just holding Banana like a boss at the moment as well. It's got to be said. But you can just see the way the Golden Mix are working the map at the moment. You know, they've got a guy watching Banana for any sort of aggression. They're not wasting any utility at Banana at the start of the round. You've got Arjisk, Big D, and HR all taking that full control of the A site, getting information, listening to what RECCA are doing for their setup. It's just, everything's going to plan for Golden Mix right now.
I mean, they have a plan, they're executing it, and they're backing each other up. It's, I could argue, if I'm being really fussy and pedantic, that, yeah, this player needs to be a little bit more up, but that's really just me just probably going too much into the technicalities.
At the end of the day, if you're winning rounds, it's all that matters. I mean, you don't have to be the best team in the world to win rounds in Counter-Strike. You just need to keep doing it if you're going to win the match. So Golden Mix have done everything right up until this point, and it'll be interesting. Cedric keeps the MAC-10 here, so Roseyu buys head armor.
They know exactly where RECCA's economy is.
They
It's
do.
in the gutter.
No, but it's really good to see that they're not, you know, panicking at this rate. What I'd like them to see is use Cedric again, get some more information, but at this point, RECCA are just giving up information for free. So Golden Mix are playing this perfectly.
There it is once again. There's Cedric just primed and ready to go to get information on the MAC-10. Flash Viz and Smokes coming forward. Cedric's just charging up towards jungle side, and Sis will peek out. We'll find a pick on towards Aegis. That's one of the AKs lost. Cedric still pushing up forward, but Frost Misty, double dink coming out of the USB, but the B side's open. That's where Golden Mix are going to focus their attentions forward. So the sacrifice of their comrades not going to be gone to waste, as RECCA Esports have left this site completely open for Golden Mix to take. And there's 3 AKs for play. A lot of Molotovs, grenades as well. They just got to keep guns out and not take the one-on-one deals. Big D needs to be cautious. So many guns, but he's spraying them down. Big D is going to take down 3. Won't make it 4 because Frost Misty looking to make it competitive with the AK-47 retrieved earlier on from Aegis body, but he's going to back out and save it. Wise decision from him, but Big D coming out big once again for Golden Mix.
What can you say, really? That was amazing. He did exactly what needed to be done there. He put himself in a horrible position, horrible circumstances, but he delivered. And if you're going to live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah,
if you're playing a relentless aggression and you know you've got the aim to back it off, hey man, it's working. Can't criticize that.
Well, now we know where he gets his name from. But Frost Misty's got that AK-47 into the next round. It's going to help out their economy, and to be honest, anything will help at this stage.
Look at this. It's like the perfect hunts are coming forward.
Oh, God.
That is perfect.
Oh. You got to hunt. If you're hunting walking, it's really hard as a counter-terrorist to be ready for everything. So
at this stage, it feels like Golden Mix have spent all the time inside the library, just read up, okay, what are RECCA going to be doing?
I mean, look, yeah, they're eco, but he put himself in a horrible position, and he still capitalized.
That's not easy. When 3 CTs are swinging on you and pistols are chiming in, for you just to keep composure and spray and hit that.
It's more important. Like the thing there is that it's just a super important frag for the CTs. Even if 1 or 2 goes down, then they have 2 AKs. Then the retake becomes a lot more viable. It was only 3 versus 5 to begin with. So Big D just coming out huge there. So RECCA now finally got some money. Unfortunately, they couldn't save the AK, so you can see they're a bit limited on utility, but again, they're just keeping the standard. Like, they're just doing the same thing time and time again. And Golden Mix, not under any pressure at all. They're just roaming the streets of Inferno, you know?
Taking their time, just sussing out exactly what RECCA are up to. Or they just go, all right, RECCA are not trying anything, you know, too out of this world.
Very patient playstyle by Golden Mix, and it's paying off. X-Ray, solo banana here. Rotate coming out from Frost Misty, a bit unnecessarily, but he does have a lot of information on that banana site, so.
How RECCA are playing at the moment is what I expected Golden Mix to play on the CT side. Very passive, very defensive because you're scared at the moment. And there is no reason for you to be sitting 2 on site, playing crossfire angles, unless you're scared.
Well, so far, all this patience has paid off for RECCA in previous rounds, but this round, not so much. Sorry, for Golden Mix. RECCA haven't given them anything yet. X-Great holding him off, drawing some time, but Frost Misty hasn't even started to rotate yet.
Where's the rotation coming out from RECCA? I mean, you can't just leave one person on the B bomb site this late. You know 25 seconds, they're going to come in. Next one will pick off Gold, will pick off HR. But he's really just the bait right now. Frost Misty has rotated across. Now they're pushing up towards Coils, but Cedric covering the angle for his teammate will be able to take down X-Grit. Frost Misty can't push beyond the threshold of the Molotov, and Big D, that's a little bit of a mistake. Yanli still challenging, nearly losing the duel. Will be able to calibrate the spray, but the HP advantage in the favor of RECCA. Next wins with the AWP. He doesn't have any armor, and that may mean all the difference in the world because it means the AK-47 bullets will tear him to shreds. And Nana control being held by Aegis. They're pushing forward, and Aegis and Yanli will both pick up 1 apiece. But now it's all down towards Sis.
Oof. Spotted him out there in Banana. 1 versus 2. So good by
That is confidence. At that stage, normally you go, all right, let's just play the crossfire, let's wait.
I don't
but
think
for Cedric to step out.
It doesn't look like that's Golden Mix's game plan at all.
No, it's just you got to play confident at the moment. And
we will fight.
It is succeeding. 10-2. I don't think anyone here would have expected this result, given... I would have maybe expected a really close game, given Golden Mix playing really well, but they are surprising me.
Like Elfish Guy said, he's been watching them, you know, RECCA Esports come through the Zen League, and he's just seen their form dip and dive, and they've lost it at the moment, and they can't get their mojo back.
And this is a change-up. Look at that. As soon as Golden Mix sends blood now at Nana, 11 rounds, if you discount the pistol, they have left Nana completely open in this round. Yanli comes charging in forward, and they've just taken B site once again. This is looking so painful, but so good for Golden Mix. I don't know what else to say.
They're keeping CS so simple right now, and RECCA are just falling to pieces. They really need to mix it up here. Big D's gone back to his construction area. He's going to smoke it off. Now, RECCA really, they're in a really bad spot here. They should save these. I don't know why they keep force buying, but they're probably feeling like the pressure's on them. They've lost 10 rounds. They need to get something on the board, but you can't force buy your way back into this sort of mess. And Golden Mix keeping it very simple. Like you said, Yan Li just mixing it up, taking full control of that banana. Expected maybe to come up against, no armor USP, but instead found it was an armor CZ and put the call out to his team. And they're just adapting perfectly.
And it's beautiful to watch. I mean, this is good Counter-Strike. This is solid fundamental Counter-Strike where Golden Mix are utilizing, I wouldn't even say like 6 strategies. They're utilizing really good foundation.
It's very
simple, but they're executing it perfectly. They're backing themselves up with their aim as well. And this is what they're rewarded with, an 11-2 lead so far. If they shut out this half 13-2, last time I saw a team lose this badly, their name was Avant-Garde.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't think Golden Mix will throw this lead away.
This is a very big lead, but I think time and time again, Inferno has proven to be T-sided. And if you can get control of that economy like Golden Mix did, if RECCA can do the same, then I feel like it's anyone's game still, but RECCA really need to pull their thumb out.
And Aegis has picked up the AWP as well, so haven't actually seen him with the AWP so far on the T side because it's not been needed.
That's true. He's been doing so well at Banana with the AK. It's interesting to see him mix it up, but X-Ray's here with an AWP as well, so...
They have left the bomb behind, so they need to cross back or go through second mid to pick it up. I mean, they managed to cross successfully with on the back of a flashbang, which is really well played from Golden Mix. Once again, they're just dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're doing the basic things right.
It'll be interesting to see Big D here at Banana control with Yan Li. The bomb is staying here. I'm not sure if he's going to pick it up or do a lap, but it's looking like they want to hit the A site. Double molly into the jungle to clear out anyone in the corner. Yan Li just scanning as he's handed over the AWP to Aegis Pilots, who didn't even notice, but now they're going to try an entry onto the A site.
But look at that, they're boxed in on the side at the moment. Nextmans will pick up one with the AWP, but he's focused on the jungle side where no one is. Where are the rest of Golden Mix going to come out through the smoke? This is not a favorable smoke from the work with, and Rozio is making it work out, but Aegis will take down the AWP, and Nextmans and Big D, and Aegis will strike again. Aegis in the charge of the pistol, not the best method to go, but Big D doesn't care about his low HP, because he is just slapping RECCA Esports all around, and now Excurate, he's got an AWP switching the AK. This should be in his favor, but Big D, if he's shown anything so far, he's been getting so many kills. Excurate's got to step up for his team right now. He hasn't checked the angle, and Big D, good flick from Excurate to take a round for RECCA Esports. Came tight, but they will be able to pick up a round. First round, it seems like a very long time, but look at their economy. They're going to be down towards full masters once again, and Golden Mix going to be coming hard at him.
What a seesaw that round was. I mean, I have no idea how Golden Mix ended up onto the site, taking multiple losses before they even got in. The two balcony guys come out and absolutely wipe with everyone in the A site. What a great round from X-Grade as well. Yan Li, unfortunately, throwing it a little bit there, maybe overzealously, trying to fight X-Grade early, but he wins that clutch. Big D, not a lot of HP to work with, and he did a great job to get him down to 20 HP, but unfortunately not enough.
And Aegis going to be challenging the angle for now. He's got the AWP. Where's the flashbang? He's peeking. Ooh. Hexcurate, 27 damage with an AWP?
Yep.
Oh.
Counter-Strike.
I feel a little bit bad. I'd be calling it. He's tagged. He's tagged. I shot him.
He's lit.
He's lit. He's definitely down towards 30, dude.
This is where, again, Golden Mix has gone back to their slow style, and RECCA have given up banana control for free, pretty much. Not a whole lot of utility as well. Just a couple of guys with Molotovs, which is going to suck if they have to rush the bomb site and they need to waste some time or draw some time for the opponents. So we got double pit set up for the CTs. Making a lot of noise as they make their way up middle.
But that's the point. They're trying to unsettle RECCA. They're trying to go, look, we've got this top mid control. We could be striking at A. They're trying to force, I think, the second player off B site right now.
It looks like they're actually trying to wrap through to B, but is that Yan Li over there at the B side as well? Gets taken down. So he knows there's two people at B now, so it's a great ideal time to hit the A side. Only two players here. They're blocked off by this smoke. But the Rambo jump from HR over the haystack as they look to emulate. And they just get taken down. Good crossfire here by RECCA.
That was a little bit messy coming out from Golden Mix, but I mean...
11 rounds, YOLO is what I would call that.
Yeah, Warriors Aegis going to do on a 1-on-3. He's going to check the inside. Oh, no scope takes down next wins. He will be able to... Oh, I thought he was about to flick on towards Frost Misty. And that would have been close if he took down Frost Misty, because that would have been a 6 HP versus maybe a 70 HP player. But Golden Mix firmly in the lead. They've done the good work. Now jumping onto their CT side, they've got to keep this up. They've got to keep up this intensity. They can't let it drop.
I just can't believe this half. I did not expect 11-4 from Golden Mix on the T side. RECCA have just been very lackadaisical, I reckon. I mean, geez, not much else to say. Either they're hiding something or they've been blown out of the water by Golden Mix, I'd say.
Yeah, I reckon we need to just go up and just start slapping some chairs, man. They need to start waking up. RECCA need to wake up.
Somebody needs to be slapping the chairs at RECCA if they're going to get back into this for sure. Golden Mix, they're probably, what do we reckon here? They're going to, now look, they've got a huge lead. So if they lose the pistol round, I don't expect them to force buy it, but you know, they seem like they're really confident right now. They're not intimidated by RECCA at all.
But they can't be too overconfident because CT side is a lot of the time the downfall for so many teams in Inferno. We've seen it time after time. Great T half coming into their own CT half. They lose the defensive crossfires and then RECCA are able to take it. RECCA by no means are out yet. 4 rounds to work with. They can take pistol, they can take it apart, but not if A just steps up with a pistol and gets a few more kills. There's 1 kill with the pistol as well, and the crossfire coming out. Cedric chiming in. We'll pick up 2 as well. Cedric standing his ground, but won't be able to take down Frost Misty. They're a little bit scattered right now, and they've got to be careful because HR is waiting at the bottom of none, and Frost Misty coming straight back towards HR. HR needs to take this out. He will be able to do so. There's a trade coming in from X Group. They know where the bomb is, and now it is going to be a bit of a roundabout. X Group going to gamble the fact that they're going to be towards the A bomb site, which is a correct call.
He has opted not to pick up the USP in this situation, which is pretty strange. It shows the power of the new Glock, but
I'd go with the Glock this stage as well.
Would
USB, you have to reload. You don't know how many bullets are in the clip or how much is in reserve. It can't be that much, but they're barely just missing the timing right now. And he does not have a kit to work with either, so he has to stick it for the full 10 seconds, and Execute just falling all the way back towards deep apartments. I mean, Yanli, he can clear the site, but with 2 angles to hold after tapping the bomb, he is slowly walking in, but Execute coming out. He's going to make noise in apartments. He's going to clear the bomb.
Oh, very smart.
That's really well played from Execute. It's going to force Yanli to come up, but RECCA will be able to take the critical pistol round on the back of no kit. It just makes Golden Mix's life so much more difficult, and that's why sometimes you want the kit and Execute. We'll clean it up with another pistol kill. Really well played from him, and hopefully he'll get some more confidence coming into their own T side.
Beautiful. Well played there by X-Great. Such a great clutch. I mean, it's kind of hard to show intelligence and, you know, outplaying your opponent in CSGO because there's just so many random factors that can happen in a clutch. But X-Great literally read that like a book, played it perfectly. Yanli with no defuse kit, unfortunately, just had to try and find the kill as fast as he could. But great work there as we miss a Molotov for RECCA, showing a bit of nerves.
Such great work.
Not pretty. Not pretty, but, you know. As we see, opted for the full eco, except for Big D. Obviously, he's going to get the Big Deagle out.
I wouldn't even say that this is a full eco. I mean, Yanli most likely is looking to pick up an AWP given USP and a single HE grenade. And I like this basic pistol buy. That's what I like to call it. You get firepower to do some damage, but you don't completely put your economy in the bin for your buy round.
Well, I mean, it's quite smart because the Deagles, they only need to hit you in the chest once to do 50 damage. And then the CZs, well, we all know how powerful they are. So it's a good mix of mobility versus, you know, the turret of the Deagle. And then you've got Yanli with the HE grenade just to try and mop up anything or maybe draw the Ts away from their bomb site. So
he's still got the grenade out, which can do some damage. As now RECCA taking this jungle control. HR spraying forward with the Deagle. Won't be able to find a kill, but does some damage. And there it is, the HE grenade coming forward. But Aegis holding the close angle with the CZ. Will pick up one, still dancing around, but can't find Frost Misty. And that is well done from RECCA to navigate the danger. They're low, but they have secured the A bomb site. And Golden Mix, what are they going to do in the back of the CZ as well as the Deagle? I'd like to say go for it, but that's a big investment on Big D.
Yep. He
should fall back and try to save that Deagle going forward towards the next round.
7 HP, and this is where the Deagle isn't as strong, you know, because the guy, you got to hit him once, but...
You got to hit him.
Yeah, you got to hit him, right? And it's quite a hard weapon to use sometimes.
Oh, Frost... Oh my goodness, if Cedric takes him out, then Big D will take down next win, so that's some damage done. He's going to fall back, and then Frost Misty, what are you going to do? He's going to have to back off towards CT, and he's going to be shut down right about now. There it is. So Big D, another pick as well. Not enough time for them to defuse.
Vac. Just goes for a flick shot. The defuse could be on here.
No, he's going to back off an
X-Great knew it, so he's come to check the bomb, and he's going to save his gun on 11 HP in that corner of the pit. I feel like that's what Cedric was actually looking for, but he's opted for the gun and bailed, so...
Well, they didn't retrieve any weapons, but that's heavy damage done just from pistols on the start of Golden Mix, which is going to keep their buy round hopes a little bit more alive in terms of everything. You don't want RECCA to start building up an economy. You don't want RECCA to start going, all right, we can start to get a little bit more confidence.
They did a lot of damage there. So.
And they're reinvesting in 3 AK-47s. And this round is not really a giveaway round yet. You still have Big D with its Eagle as well as the armor. Now you've got Cedric with the helmet as well with the CZ, with a few flashbangs to work with. Nana play for just a little bit of information. And HR has actually been granted an MP7, which was retrieved by Big D.
So it looks like very mirrored sort of play styles here. Gold Mix opting for the same sort of defense that RECCA had with just their pistols, just trying to get control of Banana, bait them into coming into Banana, flashing over. And at the same time, you've got RECCA who now are just opting for the Gold Mix style of just sit and wait, look for mistakes. So it's going to be up to Gold Mix to throw this round away.
But looks like away at the moment.
They've got a good stack, yeah, like 4 players onto the A site. Looks like they've baited RECCA into it.
And oh my goodness, they've dropped the bomb. HR does lose his life in Cedric. He doesn't really have flashbangs to play with. Roseyu, though, will be able to shut down Aegis as well as Yanli. Well done from Roseyu with a Mac-10 on towards the A-bomb site. And now Roseyu will lose his life. 2 or 3 tap coming out from the CZ. And oh my goodness, Cedric still coming forward, doing more damage towards this. And Big D coming in now. Right now, Big D, huge shot coming out from the Deagle. All down towards Excurate, the clutch master so far for RECCA. 1 on 2 with the AK-47. No kip. There's a smoke. And
he's overthrowing it so badly.
No. That might be decent if there is a watch, but it's not enough.
No. Well, it was enough to get Excurate to peak, but you got to be there to capitalize.
Yeah, Excurate can just play around for all day. He knows that they don't have a kit. Big D trying his best. He knows he has to stick it, but Excurate's just going to execute in the back and head. And Excurate once again, 1 or 2 clutch, but look at the damage done. Excurate, yeah, sure, he's got cash to work with. He's going to drop his teammates. But where's the rest of the money?
Well, Excurate's sitting on bank, so they're pretty good for now. But if this continues
look
to
at
happen...
that, there's nothing left in the reserves.
Yep.
So as soon as Golden Mix pick up this round, or if they do pick up this round, should I say, RECCA are going to be on an eco.
Well, Golden Mix, though, they haven't had much of an opportunity. This is their first chance. They got the guns up. And we're going to see what they've got for their CT side. Looks pretty aggressive as well, to be honest. Although B-bomb site, they opted just to leave Banana.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. Very good by Yanli to contest that area early on. Roseyu all by himself, no trade, able to come out of the carpets. As you see, Sis a bit too far back there, so...
I don't like where Aegis is sitting, though. That is a position that is so liable to getting wallbangs, but he's still sitting it. He's a little bit isolated. Needs to be cautious, though. And he's going to be digged down towards 17. That's exactly why I don't like sitting in the position for so long. So down towards 17 HP. Look, he's still got the AWP. Needs to click on the pixels to make it happen. A 1-for-1 will be ideal at this stage before he falls down. But Yanli is also down towards 41 as well. And that's not what you want to see on side Golden Mix. Is now RECCA stacking up to take this top mid control. They've got a lot of utility. Still got utility to try to take this bomb site. But now down towards a 4 and 5, as well as a 4-man stack on the A-bomb site. 1 close. Oh my goodness, HR spraying forward alongside Cedric. That is a perfect crossfire coming out from the CTs. And now Aegis takes the pixel for the picking, and Yanli will clean things up as well. And Golden Mix will be able to take the first buy round really clean.
Really clean. I mean, no issues at all. Everyone's still alive. It just looked like a mess from RECCA. I mean, they had some good smokes to throw, but apart from that, Roseyu takes the boiler room by himself, gets taken down. Everyone else is just sitting back way too far. And then when it comes to taking the control of the middle area, they're all by themselves and the flashes aren't there and there's 2 in jungle ready for it. So Gold Mix reading them like a book at this point.
And look at the economy.
I feel like there's a lot of frustration setting in for RECCA as well at the moment. Like you can just see Excurate's last alive there. He doesn't even try anything fancy. He just goes in and dies. So just get it over with. They're not feeling it right now, but this is their last chance for a break. After this, it's do or die. So obviously, they're still going to make it out of groups, I think. Is that how it works? Yeah, they still are.
So these 2 teams will definitely make it out of groups, out of the group stage into phase 2.
Just for seeding.
Yeah, it's for seeding, and we were talking about it earlier. Seeding is infinitely important. You don't want to be versing some of the stronger teams, and this is some smart angles being played from Golden Mix. Aggressive enough to do some damage, but passive enough to fall back if things get too hairy.
It's quite interesting. I mean, it's like Jordan said, you know, it's really inconsistent for RECCA. Sometimes you see Roseyu, he does huge things like in the previous rounds, same with Excurate, and then you see another round where Roseyu just gives his life away. And it really, really punished RECCA Esports. They couldn't execute, they didn't have the utility that obviously it's his job to throw, and that can be an issue with that sort of style of having a 5-man execute. Everyone's got a flash or a grenade they need to throw.
Here we go, straight to the B side, and Big D losing his life. HR though spraying down with the M4, gets 3 Rs and 3 kills, and he'll pick up the 4. Maybe should add another R to his name. for the kill count.
It's actually fantastic work there by HR. I mean, sure, it was a nice setup as well with the guy behind the fountain. He draws a lot of the fire, but HR, 30 bullets, 4 kills. Even though the eco, he mopped them up. They didn't have a chance.
And now RECCA have called for a tactical pause, I'm fairly certain.
Yep.
Or maybe...
Good time too. I mean, before we saw during the technical pauses, they didn't seem two-faced, you know, but I think this game's really gotten away from them, and it's time they buckled up.
But so far, Golden Mix doing so much work to get themselves in a great position. 13-7 is going to be the score. Tactical pause on the side of RECCA.
Yep. So, looks like got some headphones off at the moment, so just going to talk about how things are. And
I like his hat.
Yeah, well, I like these guys' name on his hat as well. That's pretty impressive.
He's had it for, like, I'm fairly certain that's his HLTV photo as well. He's had it for quite a long time now.
Yeah, taking a page out of Taz's book. But as you see here, RECCA, they don't seem that phased, actually. They're just sitting there quietly.
They know that this is a crucial round at the moment. This is why the tactical pause has come forward. They've had to force up on a lot of their members as well. Next wins.
Do you think it's
Eagle to work with in a Galil for Rosier?
Do you think it'd be safe to say that RECCA would be embarrassed by this performance if they don't win?
I wouldn't say embarrassed. I mean, this is just a big wake-up call. I would hesitate to say embarrassment as Golden Mix looking to change things up. Yan Lee says, hello, here's an AK-47 bullet, but look where Cedric is right now. He's pushed all the way down towards pot mid. He's got complete control.
This is full MVP style, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so Frost Misty, I mean, he'll take down Big D, but the rest of the members from second mid will be like, oh, okay. We're still not pushing out. They still got Nana control, so they've left it completely open with 3 stack towards this mid, or towards A side. And they're going to come out through, oh my goodness, they're going to come out through underpass. Cedric, oh, he should have held his fire though. He won't hold his fire because he'll spray forward. He'll get 2 kills, knows where 2 more, and they know where Excurate is. Last member, last alive, Excurate. I mean, he's clutched so many. But asking for one more clutch, is it too much on the side of RECCA? But instantly like that, I don't think...
CTs don't know where he is or
I don't think they knew that he went towards the B-bomb site. So
that's weird.
That's all right. Golden Mix, all they have to do is calm down at the moment, come in together as a unit. Don't give Excurates 3 1-on-1s.
It was really nice by Golden Mix, the way that they played that, even though it's a bit risky. But HR, again, with the trade perfectly in time with Cedric. And it should be a formality here, 3 versus 1. But Excurate, we've seen crazy things from him as he opens up the fragging account. Takes down Yan Lee quite easily, doesn't lose any HP. The diffuser's coming out. Just with the cover though, nice work there.
That is not an easy shot to make. Looks easy, but you've got a person dancing around trying to draw a shot and Aegis just sitting there.
You've got a bolt action rifle, you can't afford to miss.
Exactly. I mean, the amount of times that you missed, that would have been a game changer where Excurate just swung on the bomb diffuser and just killed him. Round 1 for RECCA, but look at this now, 14-7. 2 more rounds for Golden Mix to come out number 1 in Group A.
Got to say though, excellent team effort from Golden Mix. All players chipping in, double-digit frags. It's not been a carry by Big D by any means. It's HR, Yan Lee, Aegis, Cedric.
They've all had their shining moments.
Every single one of them. So, RECCA Esports, it's getting close to the end. I'm getting a bit worried. You can see from the way that they're playing, really reserved. They're not doing any sort of risky stuff. I think that might be what's undoing them in the end. Rosa back into this apartment. He's got the UMP this time, so he won't be able to do a whole lot of damage. But as I say that, he's very close range against the AWP, so we'll see if I can curse it. It's the only way the comeback is going to be on. 7-14. So many rounds consecutively needed from RECCA to bring this one back in without going to overtime.
Where is the 3rd member from the CT side? Okay, I think there's 3 towards Nana at this stage.
This could
There's just 1 on boosted. So this is really, really dangerous right now for Golden Mix.
Yep.
Aegis has to make these shots count. There's the first flashbang. He's going to turn away and be able to get out just in time.
You heard the UMP just popping away.
That's nerve-wracking, but Cedric's pushing at the same time. He's going to pick up 1, knows the information that there's 3 towards mid, so he's going to back off and just hold down this line. There's some good flashbangs, just buying some more time. He just has to stay alive right now because RECCA at the moment is split up. They have no idea where to go. And now Big D coming forward alongside with HR. They're just throwing down RECCA Esports. They've dropped the bomb. Excurate, he has to step up 1 more time. 2 kills. Yan Lee, where are you looking at? Where are you spraying at? Excurate now down towards a 1 and 2.
Aegis has no idea where he's gone. Cedric on the hunt, but ever so cautiously. 20 seconds left. They've got to realize what's going on. The gravity of the situation here is that Excurate is in a 1 versus 5 situation.
Has he done it again?
They need to play this smart. They've got 40 seconds. Both have diffuse kits, a fair amount of utility. They need to try and slowly figure out together where he is, bait each other a little bit, do whatever it takes, draw that fire from Excurate. Otherwise, if they jump on the bomb here, he's got an easy 1-on-1.
All right, there's a smoke grenade coming forward right now, and Excurate Sitting towards the new box. There's a Molotov. He has to time it perfectly. And unfortunately, it's not to be because Golden Mix, they gambled. They were rewarded. And Golden Mix now a match point. X-Curate, that was a little bit of a shaky play from Golden Mix, to be honest, to get the third kill.
Yep.
But...
Yep. I mean, but Golden Mix, they're just like showing them the left hand, taking it away, and then slapping them with the right. And they're just pushing down Banana, Cedric getting all that information, shooting him in the back. And then he runs off, they chase him, and then all of a sudden, the A aggression comes out. So it's just full-on aggression by Golden Mix, and it's really catching RECCA off guard. They've just got no answer for it at this point. Last round for RECCA, if they do not win it, they've force-bought as much as they could. They've taken Banana pretty aggressively for the first time in a while, but nice reply there. The Molotov's just keeping them at bay.
And there's the AWP boost as well on the corner.
So Golden Mix is just ready for this at this point.
Where is Cedric looking towards? Can he spot from Longs in that position? Oh, he's dropped off anyway, so... Big D looking to just play aggressive at the moment. Where's the flashbang? There's the counter flashbang. Needs to back off the sandbags. This is really dangerous at the moment. Frost Misty locking down the angle. Big D. Oh, blind. Flashbang comes just a little bit too early. So he's blinded by the own flashbang coming out from Cedric. So a little bit of mistake, but you're getting a little bit antsy given that people are pushing down your position. Now committing towards the B bomb site. And Cedric with the M4 up against this push right now. It's going to spray down only one though. Incendiary Grenade just buying a little bit more time for the members to rotate across. Yes, it's
So
doing damage. HR spraying forward, not going to connect on any members though. Down towards a 3 and 4 Aegis. Looking for the very common on top of first. Orange is looking towards CT position.
HR's getting away with a lot of attention here. No one's really hunting him.
Spot out X-Curate, and X-Curate's going to be caught out. Aegis will take down next minute at the same time. Assist, spraying down, will find 2. Now it's all down towards Frost Misty, 27 HP. HR spraying through the smoke, doesn't know where he is. Does not have a kit either, needs to retrieve it, so he's going to tap it. He's going to swing, he's going to swing, he is going to find Frost Misty as well. And Golden Mix, no one would expect them to take it, but they will win 16-7 on Inferno. Huge play coming out from them. As he barely,
Has he got it? I think he does.
Barely. And that is down towards the last minuscule of the seconds. But still, Golden Mix, pat yourselves on the back because you've deserved this victory. They have earned it, and RECCA, a lot of answers to be found. I think going back towards...
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. They don't even have much time.
No. So unfortunately, RECCA take a loss here, but it's not. They're not out of the competition. But Golden Mix, such composure against all odds. I mean, they weren't the favourites coming into it. They've obviously done their research. Inferno, great map for them by the looks of it. A lot of coordination, a lot of control. And their aggressiveness is just out of control, actually.
It's controlled aggression. Yeah. It's not like some guy is going full YOLO mode, booking it down mid as fast as he can. I mean, they're going in together. Every single angle, they're doing it calculated.
It's calculated.
So smart.
It's not like coordinated. I wouldn't say that. It's calculated.
Calculated, okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just calculated aggression. And it worked time and time again. And RECCA had no answer for it. And, you know, RECCA made a lot of mistakes on their CT side, and they punished them later on for their T side, you know. You lose the piston round, you lose the first gun round, and it's lights out from there.
Yeah, lights out indeed for RECCA as Golden Mix do take the victory. But to wrap up our thoughts, we'll be going back towards Analyst Test, or I guess back towards DK.
Thank you so much, Grath. And, you know, I don't like to brag, but there's one person that was correct on this desk. And to give you a little bit of a hint, I had to borrow Sniper's glasses. One of us saw this coming. Elfish guy, break it down. Why was I correct about this upset?
I don't even want to talk to you, Danny. That was something that I did not expect to see at all. I think I'm going to be... I'm prepared to cop this one on the chin, Danny, but I'll remember this because in future, you know, you might have something coming back for you. But yes, RECCA, they're probably going to need to cop that one on the chin as well because that was not a good performance from them at all. We didn't see them stepping up in anything, really. There was nothing to take away from them that I thought was particularly good at all, really. I mean, that first half, 11-4, who would have predicted that? I mean, even you kind of said it was going to be close. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was definitely one-sided there, and we have to ask that question, right? Did RECCA lose it for themselves, or was the opposition just too strong?
Well, the thing is, of course, Inferno is their weakest map. And we all know that Aegis and Big D, of course, just really performed well. All the spray downs of Big D is really on point. Actually, there's a point that RECCA tried to go with a double up setup, but that ended well. But at least they tried to, of course, come back to the second half of the game. But of course, the spray downs, the mow downs of everyone here in Golden Mix just obliterated RECCA Esports. And Yeah, we tried to gamble.
Well, look, it wasn't even a gamble as far as I was concerned. It was more or less just a sure thing, really, for RECCA.
Yeah.
But apparently not the case. They really did not look good in this matchup at all. I thought, obviously, like you said, Big D was having a pretty good performance. A really, really poor start as well from RECCA, going down 0-5 before they got their first round off. I mean, obviously that didn't help, but like it wouldn't have mattered, really, because we saw it ending up being 16-7. So they got the second half pistol. Okay, cool. You think maybe, okay, maybe they can come back into this one. It's 11-7. There's a possibility that they can push their way back into this map. But then first gun round comes out, Golden Mix cleaned that one up. And Golden Mix just looked like the better team here on Inferno, both on the T side and on the CT side. I thought particularly when we were watching RECCA playing on that CT side, it just seemed like they didn't really know what they were doing. Well, in a sense, it was more like they didn't really have a game plan, I suppose. I mean, they kind of trying to hold on to the bomb sites. That wasn't working too well for them. The retakes weren't working. I thought the B hold was not very, very strong at all from RECCA. They seemed to be getting overrun very easily. And also, obviously, the fact that RECCA was making some really strange pushes a lot of the time on that CT side as well. And I think that was later on in the half where things were kind of already up the creek without a paddle, Danny. But, I mean, it really just didn't seem like RECCA was 100% there on Inferno at all.
Yeah, I mean, we saw those situations where, once again, RECCA was down a player or two and they kind of, you know, collapsed. They didn't kind of bring it back like they did against TNC. Was that credit to Golden Mix? Again, I asked the same question. Is credit to Golden Mix, or is it to the detriment of RECCA?
Well, for me, yes, it's credit to Golden Mist because, yeah, just the things that I've said a while ago. Inferno is their weakest map, and Golden Mix, of course, they have their new style. They have their own style, rather. They have their own gameplay that can mow down RECCA at that map. But, of course, props to Excred because he tried to carry his team. All those multi-kills as well, but at least he tried.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
the thing.
there are moments where, like, it's like in the army, you're on the battlefield and you're dragging your mate who's wounded, but it looked like he was just dragging a corpse at this stage.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, we didn't see much of anything from RECCA. Obviously, Excred tried at the end there to pull a bit off, but I think it was too little too late. I thought Next Winds and Frost Misty definitely need to have a better performance in their next match, which is going to be that best of 3 against one of the winners of Group B, C, or D. We're definitely going to see them perform better than they did because they were, you know, like 0.5 ADR and not anywhere near as many frags as what they needed to be at.